This is Papa Smurf. You're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, with ODB and the Mayor.
Yo, it's ODB. Before we jump into this episode, we want to thank Scrapin' the Coast, our title sponsor. We just passed STC 20th anniversary. Their next event with the Scrapin' the Coast umbrella is going to be Bayou Showdown. That is the weekend before Thanksgiving in Slidell, Louisiana. Be there. OLP's there every year. We have a great time. We love the show. Bayou Showdown for more. And a few people have asked me, I think that they had a challenge with their Facebook event page. It does show canceled, but just to be clear, the show is not canceled. There was some sort of issue with Facebook there, and Bayou Showdown is on. And, of course, after that, their next event will be Orange Beach Invasion. That'll be next March in Orange Beach, Alabama. Stick with us through the end of this episode. We got Mike and I's all-new audio from this week. We talked to DJ Mays, his awesome wife Amanda, Diggity Dom, and then we roll into a classic episode with K Daddy, also known as Kyle Gann. Stay on the rise. Enjoy the episode. Yo, it's our Lifestyle Podcast, episode 298. And I think I hear, is that Miggity Mike the Mayor eating on some, is that some checks or some tricks, or what is that, dude?
It's just some beer nuts.
Dude, what? You know what? I'm going to derail right now. What was your favorite cereal growing up, Miggity Mike?
Bro, my favorite cereal growing up is still my favorite cereal to this day.
Really? You still on some Fruity Pebble deals or what?
Bro, you nailed it, brother.
Dude, when I was a kid, I loved it, man.
Bro, every time we go to Sam's Club, I always get the big box of Fruity Pebbles because it comes with 2 bags inside of the box from Sam's Club, and that is by far my favorite cereal, and it always has been.
Well, there you have it.
Fruity Pebbles are like the Cocoa Puffs, or Cocoa Pebbles. I like the Fruity Pebbles better than the Cocoa Pebbles.
Yeah, I think so, dude. But what about, this isn't even the question. I always think of the Rad BMX movie. What was the cereal company represented by the bowl obstacle and hell track? And I think it was Kix, K-I-X. You remember Kix, right?
Bro, I remember Kix because growing up, we were on welfare, and that was the only cereal that they gave us to eat was Kix. Yeah, bro.
Get your Kix on Route 66, right?
Well, get your Kix on fucking welfare because that's what they used to always feed us.
Yeah, there you go. Well, hey, if you're a new listener, thanks for coming by. We got a jam-packed episode. Although we are going to run some audio that we've recorded in the past. I hesitate, Mike, to say best of episode because I think sometimes people think that's kind of like a rerun. Obviously, we're still throwing in some fresh audio before that. But because we continue to pick up listeners, I think it's important to go back and revisit some of our top episodes because, again, we're getting ready to hit, Mike, in a few weeks. We're going to pass go for the 7-year. Right, so we're gonna hopefully I can collect $100 from you if we pass go, and then it's
$200, bro.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I take money orders normally, overnighted, but as we pass the 7-year mark, then we're gonna get sideways in as we go into the 8-year. So I always got to remind myself it was August of 20. No, excuse me, 20. August of 2015. Yeah, 2015. So, dude, crazy how much time's passed.
Bro, do you remember the first show that we went to and recorded at?
I do, and it was the memorial show. And, thanks to Rispoli and all the crew, for always having us out there.
That's right. They're in Orlando.
But again, everyone, thanks for coming back. Appreciate all the support. Some people said, man, the last episode was too short. Hey, totally get it. We did that in lieu of kind of a best of episode. Just kind of in the summer months, that's what we're doing. You guys know This episode, though, Mike, it looks like we're going to run, hopefully I'm going to run Kyle Gann's audio. So Kyle, K Daddy, as many of you know, K Daddy. And then we're also going to try to link up with DJ Mays' better half, Amanda. She said she might want to come on. Mike, I think she's back in the catbird seat going to shows because she was at Scraping the Coast, and I heard she had a blast.
Absolutely. And from what I understand, she is the one that is the actual DJ in the family. DJ Mays just pretends.
Right. Well, they had this old movie trick where DJ Mays has got these long, because you'd have to download Twitch and search DJ Mays Radio to see this. But I could have swore when he's DJing, it almost looks like he's got like a jacket on, and there's two hands that come up from behind, and it might be her DJing. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, okay.
So, I mean, it could be, what's the sleight of hand type stuff. You know how I am when I see magic tricks. I can't just enjoy it. I got to kind of try to dissect and figure it out. And I get all pissed watching magic, because I'm like, well, man, he's just doing this and just doing that. I think that's what Maze is doing. I could be wrong, though. I mean, he might want to fight me.
So are you saying it's just an illusion?
Yeah, a delusion. Yeah, a delusion.
Oh, delusion. Oh, okay. or is DJ Mays just delusional?
Yeah, he is, but he is the DJ that is on the rise in our truck scene. Many of the truck shows that you're going to go to are going to feature DJ Mays Radio. He's got a great radio voice. And again, please, if you can, download Twitch. It's free on Apple TV. You can go on the Twitch website or iPhone, Android. Mike, I think the BlackBerry you're using, I think the BlackBerry App Store has been shut down. So you're kind of down on apps right now, right?
Bro, I don't even think it's a BlackBerry, bro. It's like a flip phone.
Yeah, flip deal. The episode overview is brought to you by our family at Graphics Mafia. We've told you time and time again, SEMA's coming up. If you got a SEMA vehicle or you need some decals for to refresh your truck club logo or just to replenish your brand's stickers, hit up Graphics Mafia, GRAPHIX Mafia.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram, and my understanding TikTok as well. Let Buddy and Ryan, Mike, Buddy and Ryan know we sent you, right?
Hey, Buddy. Actually, you know what? Buddy, and actually, Ryan actually made my club logo and then met me at the show and put it on for me as well.
Yeah, and do you see, the thing I've always told you is when you get that logo, you need to get also the signed paper that says you can get that as your back tattoo, right? Because you were telling me the one time you're going kind of like all in with that. I mean, you're talking about the whole entire back. So I hope you get that approval. You know what I mean?
Actually, you might have had a few Coors Lights that night, and believe I told you it was the neck tattoo.
Right. Yeah, I think it was. That's what I'm saying. Like, remember what I was telling you before, how you could get some alligator boots and kind of get your outfit coordinated with banana hammock, the truck, Bananarama hammock, biz and a riz and a his and music, right? If you could coordinate all that and then you got the neck tattoo, you're going to intimidate the judges, and that's how you can start really nipping away at Eddie and the Mazda.
Got it. Yeah. Well, first. I think I need to start with Scotty the Body.
Yeah, because he's walking around with his, highfalutin, with his kind of, the the gun sticking out, so to speak. You know what I mean? He's got to like simmer it down a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Getting patched in negative camber, and NC. Mike, we got to give him a huge shout out, right? We've seen this hashtag for a while, like 200 at the 30th and that type of thing. A lot of them are descending upon not Hill Valley, but Slamboree this weekend. There's people from all over the country, Mike. And tip of the cap, I think Scotty the Body, is he gonna go out there, or is he staying local?
No, Scotty the Body actually leaves tomorrow. I believe it's him and Jay Church, Donnie Domino, and Magnet, and they're all riding out together out to the big 30th anniversary. So definitely, everybody in NC have a great time and enjoy. Congratulations on 30 years, man. That's a hell of an accomplishment.
Dude, who's Magnet? I haven't even heard of him since we had him on the podcast. I mean, where's he been, man?
Oh, I don't know, but he's going to be
Come
with
on,
Scotty the Bot.
Magnet. We're coming
I know
after
that.
you. No, seriously, Magnet, everyone, have a good time. Slamboree is an awesome show, and I do wish that we would have had a chance to talk a little bit more about the event. Let's commit to having a good wrap-up, There's a lot of good people in NC. They're celebrating the 30th. Severed, just to be clear, Severed is celebrating their 30th at Severed in the Midwest in August. So 91, you have RA. They did their big shebang last year. This year you got NC and ST with 9 Deuce. Same year the Chronic dropped, Mike. 30 years later, they're still doing the damn thing. So good stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Mike, the last episode recap, dude. I mean, bro, you were over here trying to put a chokehold on me to get with Ryan from Viair, and I've been wanting to get him back on. And we got him back on, dude, and it was pretty cool. Did you happen to hear? He came up with on the fly, did not know he was going to do it. He comes up with kind of like a, little sound test deal.
Bro, and I couldn't even hear him. Those things are so quiet, didn't even hear him.
Yeah, and the audio was not altered. Dude, that's how quiet it was. It was boom, right up to the mic. So I know some people, you kind of judge a podcast by the cover art, and you say, oh, Viair, I'm static dropped. I don't need to know anything. Hey, listen, there's always fun stuff in the episode, so don't, see an episode. I know sometimes you kind of go, I don't know, I'm a hydro guy, whatever. It is still pretty cool. Show the support. Go back, stream them. Let them run through. It helps us out. And, of course, all of that batches over to YouTube as well, and that helps our minutes watched if you're watching them there or, listening, so to speak. But tip of the cap, Mike, Viair. You can Google them. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook. Their websites all refresh. Shout out to Viair, and hopefully we'll have them back on in the future when they launch new stuff, Mike.
Yeah, no, definitely want to thank Ryan for coming on to the podcast and sharing all that new product with us.
So, Mike, this is dropping on the 29th. So, again, thanks to Chad Luke. He had corrected me. Slamboree, of course, is the 29th, 30th, 31st this weekend. But what I think is important, Mike, we cannot say this enough, right? You've been doing a great job of mentioning it. This Monday, so if you're a day one listener, day two listener, you're listening on Friday, July 29th, the 30th or 31st over that weekend, know that 8/1 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which is going to be 12 Central, Lone Star Throwdown is dropping the pre-registration, right? So 8/1/2022, that's this Monday. And, of course, remember, they're in the great state of Texas, so they're an hour behind Eastern, so they're Central Time. And I did confirm with Lonnie that it's going to be 12 noon Central. So set your Siri, set your Cortana, set your Amazon Alexa, set your Google Assistant, set your Smut Channel Zebra, whatever you got, Mike. Right? Set it, dude. Because 8/1, I mean, dude, Mike, you might honestly need to call out sick, right, for Monday. I don't want to condone that, but call out and then just be ready. LoneStarThrowdown.com, refresh. It's $80, okay? I do know it ticked up a little bit. All stuff is ticking up as far as cost. But, Mike, I don't want to give away the secret with the goodie bag. I've kind of hinted at that in the past. I want to get one because I'm going to pre-reg. So I don't want to give that secret away, but just know you want to pre-reg the day one because I'm telling you, every year they sell out quicker and quicker. Ain't that right, Mike?
Absolutely. Not really sure what your secret was or what you don't want to tell them. But I will tell them that I did notice this year is there's no more person-to-person transfers. You register, it's yours. There is no more person-to-person transfers.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's big stuff. But Mike, remember, Radar keeps talking about
bring out those mini trucks. Yes,
bring out those what?
Mini trucks. They want not many like MANY. They want MINI. Mini trucks. Bring those damn mini trucks to LST.
That brings up a good question. Are you going to have them? Are you going to have the Many Men Wish Death Upon Me, the 50 track? Are you still remixing that from the Gallivanting Man debut album or not?
I'm working on it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm working on it.
I didn't mean to stop you a minute ago. So you were saying about the not many trucks, the mini trucks.
Yes, mini trucks, Mini. They have 2,000 registered vehicles allowed. Let's try to get more mini trucks at LST 2023. Let's do this.
Go out there, LoneStarThrowdown.com. I have a little bit of video that I'm going to put together between now and the end of the year, and we're really going to promote. I mean, listen, if there's 2,000 vehicles, most of them are C10, OBSs, newer style Chevrolets. That is all fantastic, right? I can look at that stuff all day. You got a car or two here sprinkled in, the Griswold car, that type of stuff, the Power Wagon. You'll see a couple things like that, but it's all trucks, right, for the most part. But minis got to be back on the rise, and they want more mini trucks, and the only way to do that is to pre-register. I know things will sometimes come up, but pre-register. If you're a mini trucker, I talked to Joey Whitby earlier. He said that him and Tom, the Tom and Joey show, they're gonna be back at Lone Star, right? They're committed to that. So let's get out there. Let's have a damn good time. Don't worry about what the weather or anything. Come on out. I've also talked to other people in No Regrets in the Midwest area, and they've confirmed they're coming. They're coming like a pack of hyenas, bro. I don't even know what that means, but they said they're coming with minis, and they're coming basically like the Wu-Tang. They said they're going to come through, and they're going to take over, right? And just, try to obliterate all the competition, right, as far as mini trucks. So I love hearing it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's good to hear, the mini trucks are coming. The mini trucks are going to be there. And so look forward to seeing them.
I think the Many Men Wish Death Upon Me remix, if you did it right and you get the hook down, you could have, that single could go, it could blow up, bro. It could go viral, Mike. You know what I mean? Many Men.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I say we work on that.
Yeah, dude. I'm down, dude. I mean, I'll produce a beat. You know what I mean? I might have to charge. I can't do it for free. I mean.
Oh, so. No. I wouldn't expect. Yeah, definitely wouldn't expect you to. But I definitely. But I mean, it's worth a lot to know that you're my DJ, though, right?
Yeah. DJ. I'm the DJ. You're the rapper, or however it goes. So next we got the general updates. Mike, the only thing I got. I'm keeping it short and sweet this week. I thought it was pretty cool. You guys know I had mentioned I went to see Jurassic World when it was in the theater. I really enjoyed it. A little slow here and there, but they had to kind of set it up. It was the end of that second trilogy. What I liked, Mike, though, is they recently dropped it to purchase. So we, of course, got it through Apple. We watched it on the Apple TV, and it was cool to be able to watch it again, like from the house. And I know not everyone liked it. But I think overall it was even when people don't all like a movie, it still doesn't mean it's not a worldwide box office success. I think it's over, right around or over $1 billion. So that's really all I got going on, man. And dude, I really enjoyed watching it again.
Well, I didn't see it. I'm not interested in seeing it. And but what I did see that was pretty freaking awesome was Top Gun. And if you haven't seen Top Gun, and I know that's been a while now, but that was amazing.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Oh, the movie. Yeah, I saw that.
Such an idiot.
No, it is. That'll obviously be the biggest movie of the year. Biggest opening, biggest movie ever of Tom Cruise's, love him or hate him. I kind of was kind of a cuckoo for a while. But I think he's back, on the rise, and definitely a movie star for sure there. One movie I haven't got a chance to see, and I've heard people that are huge Elvis fans, they love the movie Elvis. I know some people kind of thought the trailer and the Eminem song was CeeLo Green, and they're kind of like, what's this going to be? Is it going to be corny? But I know someone that is a huge Elvis fan, and she saw it with her grandson, and she's like, I absolutely loved it. So pretty cool stuff. But I know earlier this month, Jurassic World, they were around $800 million at the worldwide box office. So I'm sure it's close to, if not, over the billion mark, which is success by any means. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I happened to go see the Elvis movie as well, and that was pretty awesome too.
Cool. There you go. You're holding back, man. I mean, that was content we could have talked about, bro. Did you hear? Okay, let me ask you this because I haven't seen it. Did you hear the Eminem song prominent in it, or was it just when the credits rolled? I was curious about that.
I honestly was not. I couldn't tell you that I seen it or heard it or any.
Yeah, it was
of the
probably
above.
during the credits then, yeah, or something like that. But yeah, it was kind of ironic because him and CeeLo, they did the song "The King and I," and it's a pretty cool song. I mean, it's not my favorite song of his, but he has a long history of doing songs for soundtracks that are pretty successful. So I was kind of curious. But
okay.
The general update's brought to you by our family Joey at Get Decked. We've said it time and time again. If you're a show promoter, or maybe you want to do an award or awards, or for your significant other, maybe you want to go out and take a photo or artwork that you have and put it on a skate deck. Mike, who do they contact?
That would be Joey over at Get Decked.
And can they go on, what is it, Facebook or Insta something?
You know what? Why don't you go on Instagram? That would be the best way to get a hold of Joey at Get Decked. Just shoot him a DM, and he will definitely be getting back to you because he does not mess around, and he gets shit done, and he gets it done in a timely manner as well.
Joey at Get Decked, hit him up. Mike, next I got one question for you. Are you ready, players?
Now it's time to get serious.
Dog, I am always ready, and here we go. Here I go to just hurry up and get it answered, right or wrong.
So, Mike, dude, this movie is celebrating next month, dude, an our anniversary, right around there. 40th anniversary. So you know what that means. 1982, it came out. 1982, August 13th, 82. It features Mr. Hand in a famous scene where he asks the class, who ordered this pizza? Believe it or not, it was Sean Penn's first film. I've read and heard over the years he reportedly lived on the set of the fucking movie, dude. Like literally getting into the mindset of the character he was about to play. The title of the movie also features the name of the school that they go to. And the last clue, the main character or the character's the main guy, his dad was a TV repairman, and I'm sure he could fix some things, dude. 40 years ago.
Bro, was this Weird Science?
Dude, Mike, come on, man. Are you kidding me?
Oh, wait. All right.
Come
I got
on,
a lifeline,
man.
right?
Weird Science, dude. That was the best science project of all time, let's be honest.
Bro, dude, she was hot.
That was 1985, by the way.
Smoking hot. I don't remember the damn times or dates, but I do remember Fast Times at Ridgemont.
Yeah, my brother. There you go. Look at that, man. You pulled the nose up. I was like, you know what? I don't know. That movie, if you guys haven't watched it in a while, go back, rewatch it. I think they're going to re-release it next month. And, Mike, it's a fun one, dude. And you know, you were the only guy that I know that could play Spicoli if they needed an older version. I think you could have done it, bro. What?
That would be fire. Dude.
I'm telling you, man. I would love to see it. So good job. Mike, we're trying to get... So now you're back to 1.25 tick marks. Remember, if you go negative tick marks, that's when... The only thing I can come up with, I've been thinking hard about this last couple weeks. If you go negative tick marks, we've always said you're kicked off, you're done with the podcast. But I kind of said, maybe if Mike throws $100, into the pot of the podcast, if you ever go negative, that would maybe kind of keep you around, and you'd have to kind of earn your way back, But the funds, the donations are non-refundable. Let's just be honest.
Oh, gotcha. No problem.
So I figured, that'll keep you motivated and studying, because I know you got hours in every week, man, with this,
Oh, bro, just keep studying like crazy.
Trivia with Mike brought to you by AccuAir. Believe it or not, AccuAir is back. You've heard Ryan on here before. Don't get him confused with Viair Ryan. Go to AccuAir.com. You can buy shirts, wheel stands, air fresheners. Oh, by the way, their award-winning air management. Mike, you've got it on Project Bananarama Hammock, and you love it, don't you?
Oh, bro, it's the absolute best. Wouldn't have it any other way.
RealDealAccuWear.com. And if you have AccuWear on your vehicle, you can go to AccuWear Life on their website and you can submit the photo. You can also enter your handle as well as whoever took the photo, and that's your chance to have them post it in their awesome cult following, social media following. All right, Mike, so next we got the scene updates, man, and there has been a lot going on. A couple things that I had saved on the good old, what do you call it? It's not face, it's, what do you call it? You call it something different.
I call it Bookface.
Bookface. That's right. So, there's been so much going on. It's been hard to kind of keep up with everything. But some of this is going to be in their Airhead Nation updates. I keep clicking on all these, and I'm like, crap, that's Airhead Nation. But check this out. Kevin Palin says, so this week and weekend, I took my first trip in years. I was invited to Camp and Drag. And he said he had basically a blast. First and foremost, I want to say thanks to Bill for helping or for bringing me along. And, of course, he has the Nissan Hardbody. That was, it's an NC, Kevin Palin, and this is the one, as you know, that was in the Panhandle for so long under the acrophobia regime.
Yes, sir.
So a killer truck. So that thing looks badass. And I also love that Bill and team at Camp and Drag, they had the skate decks. They had all their awesome colors. We'd like to talk a little bit more. I know you guys know that Camp and Drag is a fantastic show. So, I always suggest that people put that one on their list. And the other thing that I thought was pretty cool, Mike, is, all over the country, people are going to shows and they're posting up, but it's kind of become a tradition as people get home, they get home safe, they go on Facebook and they kind of go, hey, I had a wonderful time at this event. I, can't thank the show promoter enough for the hospitality and the city and all this stuff. And, Mike, that's one of the cool aspects. I mean, there's sometimes negativity on social media. We all see that. But how awesome is it just seeing people going to shows? I mean, sometimes driving 10, 20 hours to get these events, whether they win awards or not. That's not why we all do it. And they get home and they go, dude, shout out to the people like you, Mike, and your team that put on Eastbound Get Down. There's a lot of good stuff going around the scene, and I love seeing it.
Absolutely. And, with that being said, guys, just get out and support those shows. Get out and support those promoters that put on these shows, because there's a lot of time and energy and money that go into putting on these shows. And just let's keep them around. So get out and support them, guys.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. And we normally go a little bit more in depth, but I think we're going to keep it short and sweet for the scene updates this week. We've got some Airhead Nation updates we have to hit on. But, Mike, we have to thank GarageGearClothing.com. Not only have we seen Lonnie and Radar and team and Crystal, let's be honest, she's pulling the puppet strings. We've seen them at a lot of different shows. They're always slinging their awesome merch out of their booth. But, Mike, there's something about their website, and I think when people start getting closer to the holidays, they're going to realize that, what is it? How much is the shipping again on GarageGearClothing.com?
Well, at GarageGearClothing.com, it is absolutely free.
Not free 99. We're talking free.
No, just free. FREE. Free.
We've said this many times, but hear me out. Hear us out. We got Garage Girl on there. We have the sport truck type shirts. We've got the muscle car shirts. We've got the kids on lock, Mike. So, I mean, go out there, Facebook, Instagram, Garage Gear Clothing. And then also, Mike, Lonnie's out there slinging those awesome videos on YouTube through Garage Gear. People need to go out there and follow their YouTube channel.
Oh, absolutely, because Lonnie puts hey, guys, all you got to do is listen for 2 minutes. Watch for 2 minutes. That's all you got to do. It's real simple, real easy. You definitely just help the guy out. Give him 2 minutes of your time.
GarageGearClothing.com. Mike, the key show updates, right? So we really only have one key show update that we want to announce this week, and these are the tough ones, right? I hate to announce when we hear something like this. I've been pretty busy, and I haven't had a lot of chance, to be honest, to be on social media the last couple of weeks. Just a lot of good stuff going on, nothing negative. But I did hear earlier this week that our good, I'm going to call them family, the DeCorvers, that they did announce, it looks like, Mike, that Sparks in the Park, that they are going to basically cancel the show for next year. And I hadn't got a chance to talk to David or Kim. I know that they put a lot of effort in, but that's the word on the street that I'm hearing from Bookface.
You're absolutely right. And I actually talked to him today. And I was there last year, got to experience it, and just know how much, like I said earlier, know how much time and effort and money that they've put into this show, and not only into that show, but all the other shows that they go to. And that's why I say, guys, go out and support these shows. We don't want to see another good show go to the wayside.
And we do understand that there's a lot of shows and there's a lot of variety and stuff. And I know 20 plus years ago, we'd always try to go, hey, what's one out of state show, that we can maybe get to and things like that. But, keep that in mind. We talk about a lot of shows like Scraping the Coast and Bayou Showdown and Orange Beach Invasion and Lone Star. And, these are kind of the flagship shows. Mini Nats is obviously there. We're super excited for Mini Nats next year. Those are those flagship events, and some of them we will never miss, right? I mean, it's in our blood. We got to be there. But, know that we do try to sprinkle in and we try to cover those other shows, Mike. It's important. We want there to be variety, and if you can make it to these events, please try to do so.
Absolutely. Any shape, way, form, whatever you can do, just get out and support the shows.
The Key Show Updates brought to you by the West Coast Influence. You can visit, believe it or not, minitruckfilm.com. You can order the Blu-ray or DVD documentary-style film tied around, guess what, Mike? Guess what scene? The mini truck scene.
Okay.
Radar produced with his own funds, and he asks that you go out, minitruckfilm.com, order the Blu-ray or DVD. Make it a stocking stuffer. Make it one that you can add to your collection. And just do it, because it's the right thing to do. minitruckfilm.com. Mike, just 2 segments left. We got we got the podcast updates. And, Mike, we can't give away too much, but we're kind of getting the feeling that within the next maybe Mini Truck Monday, maybe next week, we might have something to share, kind of like a classic.
It's definitely a classic, and I do believe we're going to add a couple colors, and as soon as we get that back, we will definitely put it out there for everybody's viewing pleasure.
I think something that kind of tie into a little bit tough times, right? So, nothing too crazy, but right up the alley. You know what I'm saying, Mike? Back when you were younger, you hear, man, dude, you go bowling and someone go, man, that was right down the alley. I mean, there's nothing like just going right down the alley, is there? You know what I mean? With a good shirt launch, right?
Oh, absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about. And you know what? I think it'd be a good time. Excuse me. It'd be a really good time on our anniversary.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa.
Yep. And we are gearing up for our 300th episode. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we get the audio done we want to for that milestone guest. But, Mike, something else that we do want to try to do next month is maybe tie in and make it the OLP, anniversary month, which it is, but also maybe try to talk to a couple folks, right, that we've had on over the years. We don't have a call-in line like, some of these other podcasts, that are kind of running circles on us. Let's be honest, we've become a little stagnant. And, we don't have the hotline. Like, dude, I don't even have a home phone, and some of these guys are, they're tearing us down to the ground, dude, because we got to get the Commissioner Gordon phone. Let's be honest, the red one from Batman. If we could somehow get that, I think we could get the hotline going.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see, man. But that's really the only podcast update. If you do have an opportunity, if you're on an iPhone, go to the pre-installed podcast app, click on Library, select OLP, and then scroll down, all the way down, tap the 5 stars, and then also, if you want to write a review, leave your Instagram name. That would be much appreciated. Mike, last but not least, the Airhead Nation updates, and I do have a few of these saved, so I think we could just go through these. There's some good ones here, and a couple things. Number one, the day that we're recording this, July 26th, we want to give a happy Heavenly Born Day to our good friend that's no longer with us, Alex Hu. Benjamin Wood, one of his best friends, had posted, people like to say happy heavenly birthday, but I'm just going with thinking of you today on your birthday and missing you, my friend. Life's really not the same without you. Forever my best friend. And shout out to Ben Wood, and rest in peace, Alex, dude. Mike, did you happen to see Dale Hughes, our Canadian kinfolk, our fam, right?
Hey?
Yeah, not a dumpster fire. He says no dumpster fires around me, ODB, right? Because, he knows I'm a Trailer Park Boys fiend. But Dale Hughes says, thanks, everyone, for the birthday wishes. I just remember a couple years ago, he came down for Relaxin on the ranch, dude. And you're dedicated when you come to Canada all the way down for a one-day show put on by some fine people in RA, Florida. Tip of the cap, right, Mike? Hey?
Always. Love that. Love it.
Dude, did you see Holly Brewer? July 25th, 2019 was just another day. I made my way up north to head to a car show. I was there with my friend, and unlike every other show we'd been going to year after year, this one was different. This one felt special. This one started the spark. Needless to say, 3 years later, and here we are. I can't wait to see what happens next. And she got engaged, dude.
Oh, damn.
To No Social Media Joey. I don't even think he's on social media.
He's a smart man.
If your nickname is No Social Media, I kept trying to figure out what that meant. And then I was like, oh, he's not on social media.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm going to throw a guess out there, and I'm going to guess that means that he's not on social media. Just guessing, though.
Yep. Mike, we recently had LMC on, and he talked about Laura Jones' brother, Eric Jones, right? He talked about Laura, which is Eric Jones's better half,
Wife.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he talked about the homie Ian, his good friend. Well, Laura had posted recently, y'all, I woke up to a good morning selfie from my brother-in-law looking better than he's looked in so long. So, again, she kind of says it here, but, God still has big plans for him. Thanks for all the good vibes, dude. You could hear the passion in LMC's voice, the big homie of his. And that's what the scene's about, trying to uplift other people, not hold them down. So we're excited, hopefully, for his continued recovery.
Oh, absolutely, and definitely look forward to seeing him out at another show because what they did for him at East Tennessee Showdown was pretty damn special. And I've seen the videos and was lucky enough to have the videos sent to me so I could be a part of it, and that was pretty awesome. So definitely look forward to seeing him out and about and back at a show again.
I love it, man. The last one I can think of, Mike, is Lonnie Ford. I think it was just his born day, mid-July. We're getting to it a little late. Crystal Ford had mentioned, happy birthday to my absolutely favorite person to share. And we got to thank Lonnie and team for Lone Star Throwdown and what they do and how much they give back. They've been doing this thing a long time. But just a great family and a good kinfolk. Oh,
dude, happy birthday. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they just got off a vacation, if I'm not mistaken. And I know they're going to be at a show this weekend. So anytime that you see the boys and the girls from Garage Gear, make sure you guys stop by. Don't even have to buy anything. But if you want to, you go right ahead. But make sure you guys say hi. And if you don't know them, make sure you stop by, slap hands, and say hello, because they're some of the nicest people you'll ever meet in the scene.
Yeah, Lonnie, he told me, he goes, man, I know you call Mike the Gallivant man, but he goes, dude, I'm going to grass pass him this year. And I go, I don't know if you can. I said, there's 52 weeks in a year, so I guarantee Mike's gone 40 of them. And he goes, yeah, maybe I'm out, But before we mention where you're going this weekend, I do want to thank Hammered Weekend Wear for the continued support. Although we might be talking about them last today, definitely not last in our book, HAMMERD, weekendwear.com. They had some recent drops. Go out there, let them know that OLP sent you. They've continued to update the website. They kind of showcase a lot of different stuff. They also have Sparks in the Ozark 17 event shirts and a lot more, including Code Red and Dig the Lowness full-size truck shirt. HAMMERD, weekendwear.com. Mike, in closing, speaking of gallivanting, you're thanks for your time tonight, but you're going to get sideways, right, this week, I heard, and you're going to peel out of town, man. Where are you going?
Yeah, brother, we're heading out with the fam, and we are headed to Panama City. We're going to be up there for quite for a little vacation, brother, and definitely look forward to it.
That's awesome, man, because I wanted to double check with you. I was online earlier, and I got some parts that I'm dealing with a guy in Panama City. You think if I gave you, an address, you could kind of go by there and pick up some stuff for me on the way back?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? Don't even worry about it. I'll go ahead and take care of the costs for you as well.
Well, I mean, it's two transmissions and a couple heads and a set of 20-inch wheels. I mean, if you wouldn't mind, dude. I mean, I hate to fucking put that on you, dude.
No. Hey, they tins, but I keep them clean, brother. I will definitely pick them up for you,
dude.
Thank you, man.
Not
a problem.
I know you've been busy, bro. So have a great weekend, dude. I know you've been crazy with work and all that. So thanks for what you guys do, and stay on the rise, dog.
Hey, brother, always good talking with you. Always good talking with the Airhead Nation. And hey, that's it for this week. And we'll look forward to in a couple weeks. And you guys take care, enjoy, and stay low.
Have a good night, Mike. Peace out, dog.
All right, brother. See ya.
So with that being said, we're going to close it out. We're going to roll into some audio with Amanda, hopefully. And then we'll end it up with Kyle Gann. Check us out on YouTube. Don't forget. And also smash, follow, and/or subscribe, depending on how you're listening to the podcast. Stay on the rise. We got you. Peace. Yo. So we just wrapped up with Mike, and I tried calling Amanda, but I think DJ Mays, was that you that picked up?
No. It was her. It was her, but she was doing the motherly things, helping getting dinner finished up and everything else. So it was like, hey, grab my phone, and well, yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah, Amanda, how you doing?
How you doing? What it do, nephew?
What it do, nephew? So make sure I say this right. Technically, it's Amanda Schneider's Barbaglia, right?
Technically, no.
Oh.
It's actually Amanda Barbaglia. I only put. And it's actually I before E, which is Schneider's, not E before I, which is Schneider's. But dude, I only stuck that in there so that when I connected onto Facebook, people from high school and grade school would know that that's me.
Okay, got it. Yeah, because I was going to say my head is going to explode. It took me forever to think. It took me forever to think that I was saying Jay's last name right? And he, he's always so nice. He's like, yeah, you're saying it perfect, And behind my back, I know he's going, that mother, this guy. But no, DJ Mays. Mike and
I've known you long enough now, Jay, that I would have no problem saying that mother back to your face. Yeah.
Top ropes, exactly. Well, Mike and I were talking about earlier, the set that you guys, that you do, but we kind of, you'll have to wait to listen, because we kind of came up with this thing. We think that maybe you're not really DJing, and Amanda's coming back from behind with like her arms under your flannel shirt, and she's the DJ, right? So you'll have to kind of wait and hear all of that. But I mean, we think that we figured out the ruse. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying something like that's not possible.
Right.
I plead the fifth.
Right. So Amanda, the main reason we wanted to link up is my understanding that you went to Scraping the Coast, and it had been a minute, right? Because you took a little break doing kind of the family stuff, the home stuff,
Yes, I did, and this was my first out-of-town big show experience.
Heck yeah.
If you will, yeah.
And my understanding, like, you even got a chance to meet Bill from Extensive and do a lot of cool stuff. What was your favorite part of the weekend?
I have to say the favorite part of the weekend, besides just being away from St. Louis for a minute, because it's like I haven't gone anywhere and it's been a couple of years. Mm-hmm. It was Bill from Extensive and the picture I got to take with him, cool. John Cena's car, and I got to DJ the after party for Scraping the Coast.
See, the truth comes out. We knew it was your hands underneath the flannel, because I was like, Jay's hands look like they're kind of fake, and they're like, no, those are just little flaps he puts over, the end, the cuffs, But in all seriousness, yeah, so that was cool, because we always know that Extensive goes kind of big in the, hard in the paint for Scraping the Coast, and then Bill comes out, he's got just so much success going on. But you and Maze and Dom loving wrestling like you do. How cool was it to see John Cena's car?
Well, considering I had just seen the episode, just what was it, in that week?
A week or two
yeah,
before,
week or two before, that I was in complete shock that it was even there. And I just, all weekend, I felt myself just staring over at their setup, just waiting for Bill. But I finally caught him on Sunday right when we were leaving.
Yep, and he always will make time for, the
He
viewers
did.
and
Super
stuff.
nice.
Yep.
They were actually in the middle of loading.
Yeah,
were they loading John's?
They were loading.
I think they were loading John's car onto the rollback or something, and we're rolling by in the van, and she's like, "Stop! Stop! Stop! There's Bill! There's Bill!" And I'm like, "Well, those guys are busy." And she's like, "No, get out! Come on!" And so,
he knows people,
So I go running over, and I'm like, "Hey, Bill, Tim, can you guys I know you guys are busy. Give me 2 seconds real quick. My wife wants to take a picture." And they're like, "Absolutely." I mean, they literally just dropped change right where they were, had no issues with it at all, big smiles and everything. So, Good people.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And how ironic is this? John Cena, he built, my buddy Tony had showed me, it's like maybe 2 minutes from where I went to high school, probably about 15 minutes from where I live now. He had built this building that's so inconspicuous, and it's apparently like his gym and where he stores his cars. Jay, all the wrestlers, they love the Tampa Bay area. So I hope that I'll get a chance to see that one day.
Yes. Well, we are definitely a wrestling family. That's for sure.
Now, do you understand why we talk about, wanting to soak up the air conditioning so much, Amanda,
oh my God,
for Scraping the Coast?
When Saturday night, I mean, it was, we got humidity here in St. Louis, but down there is a whole nother level.
It's like a third world country.
Yes, I never appreciated how much air conditioning is a luxury.
Right.
But Jay was looking so pale and just death-worn over he could barely just hold himself up. I mean, I said, you know what? Something came up into me, and I said, what do I got to lose? I threw myself into it, and he sat there as I DJ'd and ate cotton candy and had a beer.
Well, the listeners need to hear this. I've been trying to tell Jay, DJ Mays, for the last couple of years, let me be your manager. And he goes, no, I got this. I was like, look, I can tell the shows. I can say, look, we need to have a plexiglass sealed off deal with an AC kind of split unit here on stage. Like he needs to be partitioned off, right, to keep that AC free from poisoning coming.
People don't realize. I mean, we get hot up there. It's not just from loading and unloading, and the weight of the equipment. I mean, it's that equipment puts off some heat.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Now, being that you've been around Maze for so long, and you've seen, I know this is about you too, but when you think about Amanda, like how awesome his truck has been, and it's been down a little bit, right? Do you also, as his spouse, do you get excited going, hey, I can't wait to see you, Teal Short, back, doing burnouts and getting crazy at shows?
Well, let's see. Jay and I have known each other since we were teenagers. We actually met DJing.
You were a teenager. I was
a teenager. But so I've been around Jay and his vehicles for most of my life. With Teal Short, I mean, it's now that Dom's older, and Dom, it's just, it's a him and dad thing. Like mom's third wheel.
Got it.
So, but I mean, I get this almost the same recognition with people who know who I am. They reference the truck just because, they think that I'm affiliated. I just don't get to ride in it as much because it's always him and Dom.
Yeah,
and Mini J.
Yeah,
so
that's a great point.
I'm trying to get him to do another build, or at least let me have a build to where I feel like I'm just the little orphan Annie, I'm just in the background.
Well, I tell you what,
I support it.
Yeah, and that's great, and we can't wait to see you out there because you guys have made this a family affair. What was so cool was when we kicked off the year at Eastbound Get Down, EBGD as I call it, Dom was down there, and Dom has really became, I think he's like kind of a little ambassador, right, of the show. And when I mean little,
gosh.
like, he's younger, right? I mean, he's coming up and he's finding his own and stuff. And we're so proud of like you guys as a family that you literally like live and breathe, the truck shows and DJing and all that.
I mean, Dom's more superstar status than Jay, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
Sure.
I like it. I like it. Now, speaking of that, you guys kind of mentioned when you had met, but let's keep it real because I know you guys would you guys had a big presence there in your town, in your city, for Friday and Saturday night and a lot of the club type stuff. But Amanda, my understanding was you did teach DJ Mays the ropes on as far as how to do this shit.
Well,
I mean,
that's off the record, yes,
Right.
but on the record, I mean, it's a 50-50 production. I mean, he's been, I mean, I get everything from him. We have different ways of doing it, and I don't always listen to what he says.
Nice. I got you. Now, how cool was it, though, growing up, like, in that St. Louis area, right? Because I was at Busch Gardens last weekend, and we always thought for such a long time, it was all one big company. And when I came up there, DJ Mays, took me over to Anheuser-Busch and stuff.
I know.
That's
you guys didn't even invite me. That
Yeah.
was so rude.
Well,
Jay.
I asked Mays, I go, hey, should we invite Amanda? And he goes, no, it's kind of a guy's day. And I go, okay, cool.
Right.
Well, because then we met up with Ron and got sandwiches.
Yeah, and then we hit Larry Flint's place. Right?
I've never even been to the damn brewery yet.
Yeah.
And I lived here.
Yep. Well, we went to Larry Flint's house. Our buddy got us in
he
there.
He wasn't home, was he?
Nah, he wasn't there, but,
Yeah.
we had...
Ron's in good with him, so...
Right.
That's Ron's favorite building.
Right.
I'm only allowed to go there on a every couple year basis whenever I feel the need for a T-shirt.
Yeah, you only want to get a T-shirt. That's the reason why you want to go there.
That's awesome. Now, Amanda, when you think about the next year or two, do you see yourself kind of venturing out a little bit more, or is DJ Mays going to tell you, is he going to say you can only come on the road if you're going to be DJing the pre-parties?
He's going to tell you that since I got my first one under, up and out the way, that his ass is going to make me earn my vacations now. So I will be traveling with him. Sparks will be the next one.
Yes, Sparks Show, yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of our favorite shows, and we can't reinforce enough. If you Google the Sparks Show, you'll land on the page, and it's in Sevierville. But Mays, remember a couple years ago when we were up there, they had reminded us that, for a minute, before the transition of Mini Nats, that's also where Mini Nats was, for a year or so?
Yes, it
that.
was.
Some good history up there.
So it's still iconic in a way.
Oh, well, that whole area, the Pigeon Forge area as a whole was mini truck haven for many, many years, because at one time there was mini truck and Nats, and then there was another branch of mini truck. There was actually two of them that were held in the same town about the same time. So I don't remember the total history on that, but I know it was, late 90s, early 2000s is where the split was. And I went to mini Nats from 01 to 05.
Right.
But yeah, that whole East, I tell everybody, East Tennessee, Northern Georgia, Eastern Kentucky, Western, North and South Carolina and Virginia, that whole stint, it's like a 3, 4, 5 hour span all the way around, no matter how you look at it. That area is so rich with mini trucks that it's not even funny. There's something to do at least once or twice a month, mini truck wise. So I always give a lot of those guys in that area trouble. I like to call them the 3 or 4 hour crew, because they don't have to travel more than 3 or 4 hours to go to a show.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
They really don't have to go away, because they have plenty to do in their area on a regular basis. So
yeah, if you're in a club of that area and you're not going to 10 out of state shows in a year, dude, I mean, what are you doing? Right? Good times. But so Amanda, when you think of, do you ever see yourself getting into another ride and doing that kind of stuff, or do you kind of like just being able to go and represent, for the ladies and have a good time and do what you're doing?
I'm one of those girls that I want to do what the boys are doing.
Hell yeah.
She wants a ride, but
I want a ride.
She wants a deuce and a quarter is what she wants.
Right, there you go. See, because I told Maze, I said, we got to get her like in a little Suzuki Samurai or one of the deals like that with some Dros on it. And
I need the bigger the better. It's small people problem.
No, she wants to be able to park that thing on the, it'd be
2
a land yacht.
licenses.
Yeah.
Yep.
One to drive it, one to dock it somewhere.
Dude, look at you. You got the lingo down. Now, Amanda, let's say you have your perfect ride right now and you're going to go cruising, right? So you know music because you DJ. And you're going to put the CD, I know I'm old, like cassette or maybe the MP3 player on. Okay, what's 2 songs, at least one, but what's 2 songs that you're going to put on that are your go-to cruising songs?
Oh, my gosh. How are you going to hit me with just 2?
And you can't, okay, see, I like how you think. You can't
Can I
say
get
Chameleonaire. Yeah, you get 3, but you cannot say Chameleonaire.
Straight Outta Compton by NWA.
What? Okay.
Yes. The Gambler by Kenny Rogers.
Dude, classic. Kenny Rogers. Not the chicken.
And
Kinda. Yep.
Iron Butterflies. Now, this is like super old. Inagata DeVita.
Okay. There you go. I don't have my sound effects guy going.
Probably not that many people that actually remember Inagata.
Okay, then I'll
I do not. I'm going to be honest. I mean, don't ask me a trivia question about that.
It would be Billy Ocean's Get Into My Car.
Dude, and Mike probably has never seen License to Drive. The Colt, I mean, not even the, I mean, the 80s
Colt
classic.
classic.
80s
Yeah.
classic.
Exactly. Classic.
Yep.
There's your next trivia.
Phil, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Remember, he was the instructor in the car. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Dude, the 80s were the best, man. I can go back and watch those movies.
Which Corey's still alive? Is it Feldman?
Feldman.
The
Feldman's still alive. Corey Haim passed away, yeah.
Yeah, the crazy one is still
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
But, if you go back and watch that movie and you see the big boat car that they have, those
Oh my
are
God, that's
yeah.
I drive it.
Yeah, that's
I have
it.
no problem.
Yeah, it's so cool when people find those old cars and rest in peace, Grandma, Grandpa passes away, and it's like so perfect, and you get it. It's like 30,000 miles, and some of those are hard.
I used to ride to school in a pea green Lincoln Mark 8.
Really?
With white, yes. Oh my gosh! And I used to be so embarrassed.
I knew you were going to say
Mark
that.
8. I think it was just a Mark.
It was just a Mark.
I think it was just the Mark. It was before the Mark 7 and Mark 8.
Yeah.
I think it was just a Mark because it was like a 76 or 77.
No, Maze, you're
And
saying
I
it
wish
wrong.
you
You're
would've
like,
still had
it was just a Mark, brother. And it's like, no. I'm sorry, a Mark.
Yeah, I think it was just a Mark, I think, yeah.
But man, I'd kill to have that now.
Yeah, it's so funny how we could almost do a whole episode one day about that because I've had friends and I had a buddy, Chris Cardina. He had kind of an 80s Lincoln, which those haven't really kind of come around yet. But you have these cars and these experiences when you're younger and you're like, man, I wouldn't be caught dead in grandma's car. And then you get older and you're like, man, that was pretty pimp. Like, I can't believe I had that nice of a car going to high school or whatever, So
my mom had a 77 Chrysler Newport that had a 440 in it, but it was the same color as most barges. It was like an ugly brown. So my dad always called it the barge, and literally 10 dead bodies in the trunk, and the hood was 40
Wait,
feet
hold on.
long.
Is the statute of limitation up yet? Okay, yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
it had 8 ashtrays in it. Yeah.
Oh my God, I know, and that's the ironic thing because now, Jay, like think about like even the Suburbans and the S10s and stuff. Like when we were younger, like this basic interior, all plastic. But when you see one that's pristine, like Johnny Garage Johnson's got a couple, and they're so clean and everything's polished. Like even a big boat of a car like that, you see it and you're like, it's so rare that you're just like, man, this is awesome. I freaking love it. Now, do you guys, when you start getting around the holidays, right? You used to kind of do, I know pre-COVID, some of the holiday parties and things like that, in terms of DJing and stuff. Do you guys ever still try to do that kind of thing, or because you're so tied up with shows, Maze and Amanda, do you guys kind of not do that?
Yeah, I prefer not to. Now she is wanting to try to start booking some other stuff outside of the shows, kind of for her.
I used to DJ Grant's Farms here in St. Louis, which is a little park by Anheuser-Busch.
It's kind of similar to Busch Gardens that you guys got down there. It's similar.
And I mean, I DJ'd their Halloween parties on Saturday nights for years upon. I mean, that was ever by far my biggest crowd ever. I was the only one, and this is including Jay, that has never had a sold out crowd for a female at Grant's Farm compared to Jay. Jay's never had one.
Mm-mm.
So he don't know. He's not at that status.
Nope.
Yeah, he's not at the M&M Wembley Arena status yet, right? I mean, come on.
Right?
I mean, Maze is that. Let's be honest. He's the DJ of the mini truck scene. We all know that. But I mean, he's still trying to get to that level and kind of ratchet it up. You know?
Yes, he's getting there. But I mean, I started DJing weddings and big events and parties like that for years, and I mean, yeah, sometimes it can be a little hassle, but I guess we'll see what the future holds. I'm still booking, even though Jay can't stand it, I'm still booking weddings. I'm still booking events. I'm just now since I've had my knee replacement, my knee can actually withstand me to be able to go out and actually work more.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of move around and stuff. Well, you know, you were part of the Bills Mafia, jumping off those roofs and doing the at-home wrestling stuff. You got to be careful, Amanda. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well, somebody's got to show these two who's boss around here.
Right. Okay, so here's a question for you from a DJ standpoint. Is there one song, whether it's a wedding, it's getting late, everyone's highly intoxicated, whatever. Is there one song when people request it or show you their phone or can you play this? And they're like 3 sheets to the wind. Is there any song, Amanda, that you have that you just go, God, really, that one? That song? I just hate that song.
Oh,
I could give you a list.
Okay.
But we don't got that kind of time.
Right. But what's one you could think of, Mace?
I would
Or
say...
Amanda?
I would say Paradise by the Dashboard.
Yeah. I like Meatloaf, but Paradise by the Dashboard Light, or I'm so over Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
a
the
classic,
song,
but
it's so played out.
Well, yeah,
And it's
because
just like, oh.
you guys are so connected. It's kind of like, that's an extension of who you are. You're a DJ, so it would kind of be. I'm trying to think of an analogy of equating it to something else. Maybe like a chef being asked all the time to make the same exact thing. He or she's not going to want to do that. But yeah, that's always intriguing to me because I know I'm not a huge fan of going to weddings. I've been to some with my wife, and we're all having a good time, and it's open bar, and you kind of go, oh man, I want to hear this because sometimes the DJ doesn't play a lot of upbeat music, or it's all that 70s kind of. Good wedding music and stuff that kind of, the older crowds getting going. But, like, when it's starting to get crunk, you can put some Usher, some Yeah on or things like that. And then Hank, that's when he'll start coming out and breakdancing. That's really...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah, because I'm trying
to tell you about her.
Yeah.
She can tell you all about her experience with Hank.
Yeah, and Hank he's a good guy, right? I mean, let's just be honest.
Oh, Hank the dummy?
Yeah.
Oh God!
Well, no, don't call him that. He's listen.
Hank the dummy.
He's got more brains than Weekend at Bernie's. Which Mike I don't think has seen, Maze.
He makes me look smarter.
Right. But do you think if there was a breakdancing contest at a wedding this weekend, Hank you think could pull it off, right, Amanda?
Not unless he would have to too damn much.
Right. See, there you go. See, that's what I try to tell him.
I have to get him into Betty Ford Clinic first.
Right. Well, I've been trying to tell him because I told Maze one time. I said, Maze, when he comes back to St. Louis with you, I said try to get him to go to the eye doctor and get those like horse glasses, like the blinder deals, right on the side. Because I said if he could just focus on one thing, this guy could be a nuclear physicist. I mean, I'm convinced. But that's
you
Hammer.
Might be convinced.
That's Hammer and Hank.
I'm surprised Jay isn't trying to bring Hank on as partner.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. He doesn't tell us everything, so you never know.
Well, here's the problem, though, and I've said it before. When you invite Hank over and you say, "Hey, make yourself at home," he makes himself at home.
You're like,
That's an
wait, you're like, get out of my
understatement.
bed, dude. That's my bed, man. You know?
Right.
He's everywhere you
Like
go.
the first time he was hanging out downstairs and Mandy forgot about him, went
Oh
down to
my
do
God.
laundry, and about lost her shit.
Yeah.
Right. Was that the time you put the Jason mask on him, Maze?
No, not that time.
So, everyone, here's a huge shout out, HAMMERD, weekendwear.com. If nothing else, go order the teal short, say that 10 times fast,
Say
shirt.
that 3 times.
I've got the banner, and next time I see you, I need to get you to autograph it, man, because it's going to be hanging up in the Ballard compound, too, down here, man.
Wow. That's a huge honor, Jason.
It's a huge banner.
Not you, Jason. Jason, I'm talking to. Not you.
Oh, okay, damn it.
You're
Now-
the warden.
Yeah.
Now, before
But-
I ask, go ahead.
Wow. Do you have an autograph?
What-
Have you signed anything for him yet?
For Jason?
Yeah.
No.
See, that's one up on you again.
Yep.
What did you sign for him?
He wants me to sign something.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
No.
I'm gonna get Maze, Amanda, and Dom
Oh,
to sign the teal short.
Oh, so
Sure.
you just rained on a parade.
Yeah, way to go.
Oh, see.
Dang.
See,
Here, I was superstar status for a minute.
what we need to do, we need to see if Dom or someone or anybody, maybe even Joey Whitby, one of our big supporters, we can get him on to say teal short shirt 10 times fast, and whoever can do that, we'll send them like a sticker or a piece of candy or something, Maze, because we don't have that big of a budget,
Yeah, the struggle's real on that. For real. Yeah.
Right, Hammer's got
Yeah.
real builds. We got real problems over here. Let's be honest.
Real problems.
Before I ask Maze to cut a promo for DJ Maze Radio, Amanda, Dom, anything else you want to share?
I got it, Jason. For the prize, they will be able to take home a autographed picture of Mike, the mayor's feet.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a feet person. I mean, this doesn't
Me
involve
either. But he's got the prettiest feet I've ever seen, and
Now-
I don't even like feet.
Now, listen, this is kind of weird. I've never talked about this subject before on the podcast, right? But
He's gonna kill
my
me.
understanding is Mike grew up in Ruskin, kind of Waimama, near where I work, okay? He apparently was raised that if he goes in 7-Eleven, he's not allowed to wear shoes. So you're telling me he's got clean feet?
His feet, I don't know who does his feet, what salon he goes to, but he has the prettiest man feet I've ever seen.
Oh, my God, dude. Well, I tell you what, Mike, see, that's the problem. He's out gallivanting so much. He needs to be back studying all the 80s movies and the songs and stuff. He's out getting his freaking nails done. Come on, Mike.
Well, I mean, I guess when you're a mailman, I guess it's what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
And he's getting exposed. But is Diggity Dom, can he say hello? Is he there in the house?
He's right here.
Hola, amigo.
Dom, hey, we miss you, brother, and we love that you're hitting all the shows, man. Thanks for always
Where you
showing us
been?
love.
Hey, where you been? I've been
Well-
I've been wanting to see you like forever.
I want to say witness protection, but I never snitch, never lie. So I'm just gonna say I'm on the lam. You know what I mean? That means like some stuff's went down, and I'm kind of just letting stuff blow by. You know what I mean? Blow over.
You're not getting my autograph.
He's been on vacation.
Right there you go. There you go. Amanda, it's been cool getting to know a little bit more about you. I appreciate when I came up to Relaxin In The Park, St. Louis, a few years back, and you guys, graciously let me stay there at the place. And I would encourage people that next May, Relaxin In The Park. Did I say that right a minute ago? Relaxin In The Park is going down this coming May, and that's going to be in. Hold on, I got it. Festus for the rest of us, right? Festus, Missouri.
Oh my goodness.
He always wants to relate it to Seinfelder.
Right. Damn it, Festivus for the rest of us. Now,
or as we all called it this year, relaxing in a swamp.
Oh yeah, well, hey, it was better than when. Shout out to our family with Assorted Miniatures, but the one year that I didn't go to Show Fest and everybody was calling it the M Word Fest, they had a lot going on, and I felt bad for them. But you know how it goes. You can't control the nature.
Nope. It's the one thing you can never control.
Yep. Maze, real quick, tell everyone. Mike and I said it earlier. Why should they download Twitch again? What's the whole deal there?
Well, first of all, it's free. So
Free 99 or free?
No, just free.
Okay.
FREE.
Yeah,
free.
yeah. The second best four-letter F word out there, and it's free to download. It's free to create a login. It's no different than the old Street Source days or Instagram or anything else. You can create whatever name you want, and then you jump on there. You look up DJ Mays Radio. You follow the page. You'll get alerts when we jump on, and we're always on there talking trucks and shows and talking shit. And, I mean, that's just kind of what we do. Even, what was it? Was that Saturday night when we were on? Saturday night.
Oh, Jason, you missed Saturday night.
This past Saturday when we were on, we just went, we were kind of starting to wrap up everything. Next thing you know.
I slammed it into left field.
Ooh.
Thinking that, okay, I'm not taking any responsibility for this song.
Ooh,
and that led to
Two
another
Live
And
Crew?
it led to how many hours later?
I don't know. It was at least another hour because we were planning on getting off before that. And next thing you know, we played everything from Tom Jones to the
Elvis.
Supremes
We
to
went
Elvis.
We went old school.
Dude, I love hearing that. It was just the anniversary of DJ Mays of the Two Live Crew is what we are. Of course, that was July
Yes.
24th of 86, and that has one of Hank's favorite songs, but remember, this is a family podcast, and we can't, even some of the titles we could get in trouble for saying, of the songs, But we all know that beat when it kicks in, don't we, Maze? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it gave us an idea. We are actually, and I know we're still working out a little bit of details, but we are, before we go to Sparks, we are going to throw down a one night decade. And I mean, we're going to go from the 50s at least to the 70s on this one night.
Really? That's
Just
cool.
to bring back the songs that, people grew up with or they forgot about. And for the younger ones, maybe it'll be the first time hearing it.
Yeah, I already do Throwback Thursdays it is, but we figured playing some of the stuff that we played Saturday night and everybody was loving it, remembering cruising, the streets with their parents or the stuff their parents listened to as they grew up, anything from, CCR, to the Elvis, to the Motown stuff, to Beach Boys, and just, gradually make our way into the late 70s, early 80s, get into the funk stuff or whatever. So
we're
just something kind of fun.
We're going to battle it.
Yeah, and I will be there. I want to listen to it. I want to hear some Chuck Berry, dude. Even think back to the American Graffiti and some of that stuff, the real rock and roll, and like you said, Creedence and Fogerty, and dude, that's a great concept.
Hey, the people came up with the idea.
Yep.
The people's elbow, right?
Yeah. We took it right on the chin.
Right.
So check this out, everyone. Whether you're on Android, iPhone, you can go on the Twitch website. I think it's twitch.tv, I think. And then also I watch on Apple TV. The cool thing is you can interact if you're on your phone. You can join in the chat. I'll sometimes have it up on the Apple TV. The app is free. And then I'll have it on the phone. The volume's turned down on the phone. Then I can interact with people, right, and chat. And someone's, hey, what's up? Then you respond back. So it's a very cool concept. But, Maze, what I like to remind people is they don't have to interact. If they pull it up and you're just at home on Friday having a beer, hanging out in the garage, pull it up, and it's like a free DJ set to hear music.
Yeah. I mean, you can be sitting in the garage, on the patio, in the pool, whatever.
Car.
Just let it roll. I mean, if you're driving or something, obviously don't pay attention to the chat a whole lot.
Right.
Well,
I
yeah,
wouldn't,
but let it roll and keep doing what you're doing in the garage or whatever. And if you hear something you need to chime in on, go right ahead. Otherwise, just let it roll in the background and just let it be your soundtrack for the night.
I like it. It's been a pleasure having Amanda and Maze, and we heard Diggity Dom a second ago. You guys got anything else for us?
Oh, Jason, I just thought of it as we were hitting the end. I forgot one of my highlight favorites of Scraping the Coast. That way we can close out this show.
Let's do it.
It's a shout out to Sean Rhodes and his little boy.
Ethan?
Is it Ethan?
I believe it is. I always get confused. I believe it's Ethan.
Yeah.
When we had just first gotten there and trying to, all these people just coming up left and right. This kid and I played together as I chased him around the convention center on the inside with all these expensive ass vehicles, he made me feel so comfortable. But that, the overwhelming culture shock just kind of faded after about 5 minutes. So a huge thank you to this kid, my little buddy Ethan.
That's fantastic. It's a great way to end it. Scraping the Coast, one of our favorite shows. 20th anniversary was this year, last weekend in June for 2023. Biloxi, and like you heard Amanda and May say, you got to have that AC. That's the good thing about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maze,
even with our fans, it wasn't enough. It won.
I love it.
And Jay, you got to go next year because Shannon did great keeping Mike in line, trying to get the booth set up on Friday. Because you know how Mike likes the Gala band.
Oh, dude.
Well, it's a good thing Shannon and Dusty and Michelle Boone were there to help because
Mike
that booth never would have got done.
Been a mess. He made my ADD look very minimal compared to me watching him bounce from here, there, and everywhere. I had trouble keeping up.
Dude, I'm telling you what, he's all over the road, and he tries to always blame it on me, slamming stuff around and getting all, high fluting and stuff. But, at the end of the day, I think, Mike's just got to sometimes, take a look in the mirror,
Yeah. Well, Mike did work Dom. Dom got to be a part-time ambassador for you guys.
That is awesome. Yeah, and we need all the free labor we can get. I mean, we pay with stickers and stuff, I mean, we've got benefits that come along with the role,
Yeah, well, we can't talk about it too much. We don't get into child labor laws or nothing.
Right. And
Florida's a little forgiving, but
And normally he'll go, "You want to give him a sticker?" And I go, he's probably already got that one, because we need the stickers, But it's been a pleasure. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the weekend. We're going to roll into Kyle Gann's audio, K Daddy. We really appreciate you guys, and stay on the rise and keep DJing. And Maze, hide those hands a little bit better because we can see her coming up and getting crazy on the ones and twos.
Oh yeah. I'll come up with some better makeup for my hands or something.
Yes, and we'll see you guys at the next show.
You got it. Thank you so much, Amanda, Diggity Dom, Maze. We appreciate y'all.
See you guys.
See ya.
Yo, it's Our Lifestyle, the podcast. We talked a little bit about on episode 92 with Josh Ellis. We've got a legend. I know he won't want me to call him that, but he is. We got Kyle Gann, a.k.a. K Daddy. He's in the house. What's going down, man?
How you doing, brother? Everything's good.
Everything's good in the hood. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
No
problem, man.
What is so awesome is getting to meet people like yourself that have been around mini trucks and just customs for so many years. And it's kind of cool to sit down and reflect a little bit. But, many of you guys know who Kyle Gann is. But I wanted to start, Kyle, and just kind of ask, can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, man. I'm a first generation painter customizer. Got into mini trucking at 16. I bought a brand new standard cab 720 Nissan. Got into a local club called Mini Visions. Went to all the runs with those guys. Actually painted the club windows for them and got my feet wet with them cats. That's kind of where I got my friendship with Courtney. I met him at some of the runs back then. We were young, 17, 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
After Mini Visions, a few of my friends and I started Syndicate Minis and Compacts. And Syndicate probably is the club that put, Cal Concepts on the map. I mean, we probably did 30 cars in Syndicate through, me being part of the club and knowing everybody. Yeah, man, we used to, there's the main drag here in Bakersfield. It's called Chester Avenue. We'd go 20 cars deep. Every single one of them was graphic out, big booming stereos. I mean, when we showed up, you knew we were there. We'd roll to Visalia, which is just an hour away. Mooney Boulevard was. But that's where I met Brian McCormick from Truckin Magazine. When we were still kids, we'd both be down there cranking. He had a mini Blazer, and I had my 720. But yeah, man, I mean, we were in it. We lived it for a lot of years.
Yeah, and kind of paint the picture for us, right? Because you're a great painter, of course. But like what, like we're talking like kind of mid. That almost like brings me back to what the mid '80s, kind of late '80s, as far as when all that really got
it was.
off.
Yeah, '86 is when I got my truck. So 86 to 90 probably. I mean, it was if there was a run somewhere, we were there. If it was 5-6 hours away, we were going.
Well,
So,
and you mentioned Courtney and Brian McCormick, of course. I love looking back at the Truckins from those years, especially the early '90s. There was one epic photo I posted on the podcast page, and it was at a truck run, river run, and it was a guy. They had a huge ramp by the river, and he was doing a trick off the ramp into the river, and you had like all the mini truckers, like the '80s and '90s, and man, I almost
I know exactly the picture you're.
Yeah, and I almost go, dude, like, it was a little before my time in terms of me getting involved in the scene, but man, I could stare at those photos and just envision like how much fun you guys had to have, like as teenagers / young adults, man.
Yeah, man, it was retarded. We had a lot of fun. I mean, there was times where they would have a crane with a bucket on it, and people are bungee jumping. It shows in Arizona. I mean, super unsafe, but man, it was really cool.
Yeah, man.
You had a blast, dude. Drank way too much. Back in the day, that was, I used to mix this stuff called Purple Jesus, and I wounded a whole bunch of people with that drink.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's kind of, Courtney got drunk, fell over in Bakersfield, and hit his head on a sprinkler in a probably 5 football field area. There might be 10 sprinklers out there. Yeah, he found one. Cut his head open. It was awesome.
Holy shit, dude. Yeah. Man, and the other thing that was crazy to me is like when you think of the Brian McCormicks and, obviously Steve Stillwell was kind of tied in there. He was a little bit older of a dude. And then you got, I think I mentioned Brian, but then you had Courtney. Man, you almost had like this true concoction of just badass, like guys that were so passionate about it, because when you think of the graphics that came out of the late 80s, early 90s, that almost spurred like a whole generation of mini truckers that guys are still trying to replicate that stuff, right? I mean, to me, it's just amazing that you guys were at the infancy of it.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much developed the West Coast graphic style for mini trucks. No doubt about it.
Straight Cali
everybody
style.
Back then. Yeah, everybody back then was trying to copy what we were doing. And I mean, there was some guys out there that were doing good, and then there's some guys out there that kind of missed the mark. But it's flattering to see somebody care that much about what you're doing to want to copy it.
Dude,
back in the day, there's, it was kind of like, oh shit, somebody else is copying this. But looking back, you're like, wow, man, that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that they tried to mimic it because I don't know what the quote is, but it's like something about, it's when someone tries to mimic you, it's like almost like the ultimate, flattery, that someone's.
Oh yeah, for sure, and it really is, for somebody to want to be just like what you did. I mean, that actually is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. So that kind of brings me to like a question that, you kind of summed up to like these really badass times, right? And you talked about being at 16, with the standard cab, which we'll talk about the trucks. But like, how would you say you got involved into paint? Were you like in middle school like I was and you were taking like an art class and like you were just like, damn, I got these skills, or what was it?
Not really, man. I mean, as far as trying to draw something, I can't draw anything. I'm not real good at it. I can pull tape like nobody's business, but trying to draw something, I just don't have it. I can kind of do it if I really sit down and take my time, but I'm just not that good at it. But after I got my mini truck, I had become good friends with Jay Warner. I don't know if you know who he is. Badass airbrush artist.
Yep.
He's been in the game forever. And I would hang out at his shop and help out and mask and do some things. And, that's where I kind of decided, man, this is what I want to do. And I ended up going to a trade school in Fresno it was like a year-long trade school, pretty much a vocational training center place. Wasn't a whole lot of custom stuff going on there, but you learn the basics. And right before I graduated, I actually talked my instructor into bringing a paint rep in, and I painted my first complete candy while I was in school, which was pretty cool because nobody was doing anything custom there. So it was neat to do that.
Damn, dude.
And then,
and that's got to be inspiring for other people that, I mean, like you said, like I'm blown away that, because I can't draw anything. So I think that's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that, man. And my bad.
Yeah,
what were you going to say?
I was going to say, man, after I got out of school, I came back to Bakersfield and I was running a body shop out of my garage. Mm-hmm. And mind you, it was in a townhouse complex. I mean, literally, I opened my garage and 20 feet, there's the swimming pool. I'm painting completes in the fucking parking lot, right in front of the swimming pool. I mean, my neighbors are bringing me work. The landlord of the place is bringing me work, which is crazy. You know, he was a cool guy, but extremely clueless. I mean, you know, I'm painting complete cars right by a lit water heater. You know, if it would have caught, dude, it would have burned the whole place down. I mean, it was, the liability was retarded, and he just never got the clue. You know, it was pretty cool. I mean, I actually did the first rendition of Robin Ramirez. They call him Cobb. It was a Mazda. It ended up being Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yes.
I did the first graphics for that truck in that garage.
Wow.
And it had been done twice, another time, and then it was the Something Wicked This Way Comes. And then I actually did Eric Coleman's graphics on his Dodge when it was still gray. It came out, I think, in Truckin or Mini Truckin. Yeah, I did the graphics for Coleman in that garage too.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, here's a little story for you. When I first got in the Mini Truckin, you know, I'm reading the magazine. We're talking like 97, 90. Well, I read the magazine before that, but when I first had my truck, I started doing business with Steve at Altered Images. And
okay,
it was like the late 90s, and he goes, man, you know, I'm going to send you something cool. And, you know, I bought some parts, like a roll pan and whatnot, and he sent me a VHS tape, and I've kept it all these years, and I used to watch it. But, dude, like, it was like a true home video of, like, him going to Cal Truck Jam, and I can't wait to see it because one of my friends, he's got it. He's going to convert it for me. But
very cool.
There was something where I think he rolled up to the shop, and something wicked was there. And I forget if it was on a trailer, and, you know, he's like, he opens the door up, and he's going, man, this famous truck and stuff. But, you know, we're talking like late 90s. I don't know whatever happened to the truck, but, dude.
I don't know who has it now.
Yeah, it was, dude, so many classics came out of there, man. I mean, that
whole, you
know, Bakersfield. I always
Bakersfield was a hotbed for it, man.
Yeah, that's,
you know,
I know. I
it
almost
really
think
was.
it was like the heart of Mini Truckin', man.
Yeah, it kind of was. There was, man, I mean, we were deep. There was several different clubs, but, man, and it's a couple good painters, you know. Eric was painting, I was painting, you know, Jay was doing stuff. So there was a lot of stuff going on.
Hells yeah, man. So when I think of a truck that stands out in my mind as one of my favorites all time, love the colors, love the graphics. It was featured in Truckin' December 92. I was thumbing through the issue about a year ago. I'm going to have to pull it back out, of course, but the truck Bad to the Bone, like, what does that truck mean to you? Like, tell us any kind of little backstory on it.
Man, that was the first real banger that I built, you know, badass, the really nice truck.
Uh-huh.
You know, I had torn down my standard cab, and I was getting ready to redo that, and I kind of stumbled across that extended cab. It was a buddy of mine's dad's, and, you know, I told him, man, I really like that truck, and he's all, I'll sell it to you. And I mean, he sold it to me real cheap. The dude was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and it kind of just took off from there. I took all the good parts off the standard cab, put it on the extra cab. And I was building the truck, and this is kind of when I became friends with Dion from Cal Concepts. And, I rented a spot out of his shop when he was still Curtis Craft just to work on my truck. And, you know, during this time is when me and Dion kind of decided to do Cal Concepts, you know. So basically I was a co-founder of Cal Concepts, through doing that truck. And, that was kind of the flagship truck of Cal Concepts. It was the first one that really set us on the map. I mean, it was even before Craig was in the picture. I mean, myself and Jay Warner painted it. I built it, and, yeah, it was crazy, man. You know, that thing was built a long time ago. And people think it was me, Dion, and Craig that did it, but Dion did help a little bit on it, you know. I wouldn't call it a whole bunch. He likes to try to take credit like he did the whole thing, but that isn't the case. But yeah, man, that was a long time ago.
I know, right? For someone like you that's been painting for so long, you know, the stories, you know, they're you know, the mindset and I should say, like, the memory, man. It's like, you know, it's still damn good, right? For all those years. And when, you know, recently becoming friends with, you know, Josh Ellis, you know, what a good dude he is. We'll talk a little bit more about the tie-in there, but what I thought was cool is dude, this guy knows his history. He was even sending me the last couple days a lot of cool photos of Bad to the Bone, some that I had never seen.
Yeah.
Now, like,
yeah, I just recently met Josh too, and he's a really cool guy.
yeah, he is, dude. And what I wanted to kind of ask you is, a lot of guys, I get, some people, they love the Mini Truck Hall of Fame. Other guys are like, I don't need this recognition, because everybody's different. Some want it, some don't.
Yeah.
But I think the guys that do it, they do it for the right reason. They do a great job picking, a fabricator, business owner, Courtney Hallowell Achievement Award, that type of thing. But to me, it's a huge salute for that truck this year and next week, I think it is, that's going to get voted into the Mini Truck Hall of Fame. How does that make you feel, bro?
Oh, it makes me feel great. Let me touch on something else with the truck because I don't want to leave Craig out. When it was featured in Truckin, that was kind of the first rendition. We brought it back. I tore it down, molded the frame, and Craig that's when Craig did a bunch of work on the truck. He did muraled out the frame, muraled out the motor block. I mean, inside of the speaker box, there was Zolatone on it underneath and stuff, and he put cracks on it to make it look like stone. So, I mean, Craig did do a lot of work on that truck, but kind of in the second rendition. When it came out in the magazine, Craig hadn't touched it yet. But before it actually died, it was, he had done quite a bit. So I just want to make sure he gets a little credit there. Yeah,
for sure. And, when we had Craig on, too, I think, to me as an outsider, we'll talk more about it, but I think all I can say is you guys are all of you guys are amazing talents. And to me, it stood the test of time, with these different trucks, right? There's a few others that we'll throw out there. You've thrown some cool names out there, like something wicked that I call it. But, talking about the Hall of Fame, I mean, for your work or your personal truck, because you own that truck, for it to be voted in, to me, that's like putting the stake in the, when the United States put the flag in the moon, man. They said, dude, we are fucking here. And for me, to see like that truck get voted in, I mean, that's like a huge, like, just fuck yeah, man.
It was awesome. Yeah, it's a big honor, man. It's really cool to be recognized for it, for sure.
So,
it brings back a lot of good memories.
Dude, and that, I think, is right there is worth it. Let me ask you this. Because, we've heard varying things, and becoming friends with Josh, like, he amazed me, man. He really does know his Mini Truck history. What's the story? Like, what happened to the truck?
Oh, the Bad to the Bone?
Yeah, Bad to the Bone.
Yeah, man. We had got all the frame and stuff done. I'll give you a little backstory before I tell you exactly. But we had went to the last Bonton. In Bakersfield, and showed the truck, and it took every best of category. I mean, it was ahead of its time. It was really killing shit. And so after that, the next big show was Truck Jam. So we were getting ready to go Truck Jam. Got everything loaded up. I went home, take a shower. Dion and Craig jumped in the tow rig. They were headed to their houses to get showered up and packed and ready. And a drunk driver hit him head on at over 100 miles an hour. And I mean, fucking literally almost killed both of them, bro.
And they were driving the truck, the mini truck.
No, they were driving a tow rig, but the guy hit him at such a hard velocity that the truck and trailer came up and slapped the back of the van and just demolished everything.
God.
It broke the frame on the mini truck. I mean, it hit hard. And it was still tied to the trailer when I rolled up on the accident. I mean, it didn't come off the trailer, but just like somebody beat it with a hammer, you know what I mean? It was fucked up.
So how did news travel back in the day? They got to a phone and called you and said, dude, like, I mean, are you just like fucking...
A friend of mine came barreling up to my house. I'm sitting there waiting to go, going, what the hell's going on? These guys are lagging. He's all, bro, bad accident. You know what I mean? We rolled up on the scene, and they had just taken Dion and Craig away, and somebody at the scene was like, hey, man, Dion's dead. And I was like, holy shit. And dude, it was bad. The guy driving the Hyundai that hit him is dead. It killed him. Wow. He drove that fucker right into the van, dude. And I mean, the whole hood of that Hyundai was sticking in the van, straight in the van, dude, and about 2 inches of it was hanging out. Dion rode the steering column out of the window. I mean, yeah, dude, it was crazy. Dion was out of work for like 3 or 4 months. I mean, I literally worked 16, 18-hour days, 7 days a week, just to make sure his bills, my bills, the shop bills were paid, try to keep everybody whole and we didn't lose anything. Because, I mean, he was fucked up. He couldn't do shit. He had a bunch of surgeries and everything. I mean, his face was damn near ripped off one side of it. It was crazy.
Fuck. So, I might be one of the old, the mini truckers that maybe didn't know the whole story, but hearing it from you is like, dude, like my jaw's sitting here going, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it maybe, because we know what happened with Bob Grant and, Twisted Metal and, some of those, you kind of fall asleep, that type of deal. But dude, like that is like, you talk about
gnarly
freak accident, like holy
Yeah.
fuck, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I had kind of thrown a fit, man. We'd been getting the truck ready for a couple days, and I was just over it. And Dion's like, man, go home, take a shower. We'll get this. We'll pick you up. Or I would have been in the back of the van, dude. Probably. I mean, I don't see surviving it, really. If you were flopping around in the back of that thing, it would have been a bad deal. Yeah, man, it was crazy.
So that was
definitely
obviously
crazy.
the second time after it was built. Now, back in those days, right, I kind of heard some stories, but how did, like, the other truck that, basically the other truck that Josh has now, right? How did that come into picture? Because did some of the parts, like, were you able to keep the truck? And just
some of
salvage a few
the
things?
parts off the truck. I mean, half of the truck is hanging in a guy's garage here in town.
Okay.
We cut it down, and there's still parts of it around, and there was some parts used off of that truck on to Josh's truck. I had a friend named Tom that was working on that Josh's truck, a standard cab 7, like my first truck. And he felt sorry for me and was like, dude, I'll trade you this truck. I'll let you have this truck. Just paint my bug and I'll do my bug and you can do the truck.
Okay.
I was like, cool. So that's what I did. And then I decided we wanted to make it a roadster, and we did some trade work. There was, and I don't remember the name of this thing or if it even had a name, but it was a green Astro van with graphics all over it. There's pictures of it. And then it turned, I think Pete Hot Dog Finland did like a facelift on it, and it ended up being yellow with graphics. And I can't remember the guy's name that owned it, but I think they had a shop called, it was either Crazy Customs or the Chop Shop, or it's been so long I don't remember. But they did the convertible and stuff on that deal. And then while that was going on, I ended up buying a 55 Ford, and my interest really changed to going towards customs.
Yep.
So my buddy Ryan wanted to buy the truck, and I kind of not lost interest, but was working on my Ford more than that, and was like, hell with it, I could get some money to put into this thing. So I sold it to Ryan cheap. He had always helped out around the shop, and he had actually helped on the last look. Him and a bunch of his buddies, they did a bunch of the grunt work on that thing, and sanding and everything. And I just sold it to him, and he commissioned the shop to finish it, and we did. And then it had changed hands, man, a bunch of times after that.
Yeah, that's what Josh was saying. And I'm trying to think here. Was the truck then? Did he have once Ryan got it? Did he have Cal Concepts paint it like you guys as a crew?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes. Yep.
So what I was blown away. I was texting with the homie earlier, and one of our good friends, Brendan Burrell. He's a photographer, a good dude. He had shot, he had asked a question, and I was blown away because what hit me today is the look that kills. It was never featured except for in a magazine like in Japan, which had a funny name in the magazine. But that blows me away, dude.
Yep, it was in that, and then it was in, I want to say Autographics or something. Craig used to work for Autographics, so a lot of our stuff got into Autographics.
I see.
And it mostly was like how-to stuff. There were pictures. But, I don't know why that thing didn't get in the magazine. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and to me, what's really cool, to the spinoff of episode 92 is what I told Josh is that I'm really happy that he owns that truck, because I know he mentioned Ryan and a couple other names, right? And a lot of the guys, he kind of said it was like a circle of guys that know each other, right? That have had the truck. But for him to have it, a lot of guys go, "Hey man, I'd love to, this would be a dream car, blah blah blah," all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But for him to actually get it, he's taken it to a lot of shows. He upgraded the wheels.
Oh, dude, he's taken that thing to a whole new level, bro. That truck is badass, and it has a whole bunch to do with him. I mean, he's really cleaned it up. I'm overly impressed how badass that thing is.
Yeah, and for him to tell me that he grew up in the Bakersfield area and he had visited the shop and stuff like that a couple times, I was like,
he's a super good friend with one of my real good friends, and I don't know that I ever met him. I've here recently talked to him on the phone and texted back and forth, but I don't remember meeting him.
Yeah, and he's really collected a lot of photos of the truck from the partypage.net, and just, he had, he was, immediately texted me earlier when Brandon has asked the question, and he goes, oh, it was in, and I want to say it was called like Boob Car or something. It was a weird name of a magazine. I'll post it sometime, but
I can't remember, man. I know which one you're talking about, but I can't
yeah.
remember what the name of it was. We were friends with a couple Japanese photographers, and they'd show up, here and there and just shoot all kinds of stuff. And then it would, everything would get in there.
Yep. So, like, to me, the history of, your mini trucking was obviously, tied into the club, right? The Syndicate Minis.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
And then with your truck, and then when you got, when you kind of strayed, right? Like many of us, our passions or hobbies changed. You still were into the same deal, but you're like, dude, I'm going to go, and you fell in love with older cars like many of us do.
I did, for sure. And still to this day, I'm doing that same stuff.
Hells yeah, man.
Yeah.
So did you ever, I know this is probably a cliche question, like, do you ever have regrets of maybe not, taking the mini truck, to the next level as far as, the look that kills, or you were just like, whatever, man, I do my passions with old cars at this point?
Yeah, I'll always be a mini trucker, man, no doubt. But, I kind of wanted to do older cars and put my skills up against people, big name people, and see where I stood. Kind of was my thing. We kind of, at that time, and not to pat my own back or pump my chest or anything, but we were kind of kicking ass in the mini truck scene. When we showed up, we would win a bunch of shit. So I was like, we've kind of done this. Let's move on and let's get our ass kicked and get remotivated and get better at what we're doing. And that's kind of the way the progression led for me, is going to the older cars, because, I was a brand new face in that. Didn't have any recognition. Like in mini trucks, I showed up, people knew who I was. I was painting all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to get into that. And I always tell people, man, when I do a car, if I take it to a show, one of my people I look up to, one of my heroes, paint heroes or something, gives me the thumbs up, man, that's better than a trophy all day. So that's kind of where it went, just trying to better my skills and put my skills up against, people that were better than me at the time. And, there's still a bunch of people better than me even now.
Well, I tell you,
it's
cool that you can, a lot of people can't acknowledge, like, I always say, like, people can't acknowledge if they make a mistake. I try to be the first guy that's like, dude, I fucked up, right? Or a lot of guys can't acknowledge that, I'm not the best, like even Mike Tyson at one point, he gets knocked out. But I think, when I look at like your work, would you say, because listen, I'm not a painter at all, but I look at, I'm scrolling through your Instagram feed, and you got like a unique style, right? A lot of guys, try to mimic these different kind of, I call them lowrider paint jobs, just really sick shit. Yep. But would you consider yourself like a specific, like, some guys are like, they're the master at flames. What's your one thing that you would say, like if somebody said, man, what's the best thing you are at paint? What aspect is that? Is there any term you would use?
Anymore, I love doing the flake stuff now. It's kind of come back, and I really enjoy doing that in the candies. But I mean, I'm really proficient at flames, super fast. I mean, I've done thousands of flame jobs, and I still can do the old school graphics. So I'm pretty well rounded when it comes to the design aspect of it. I can do pretty much whatever you want me to do. But at this point, I really like custom stuff. Is really skates a fine line between custom and lowrider. Change the wheels, and most of the cars I do now can go either way.
Yeah,
and I just like that.
So epic, and I love how like a lot of like even what I want to do on my '67 Lincoln one day is paint the roof of it, right? And I got a homie that it's like, hey, I'll do it, no problem. But I've always loved that style, and when I look at so many of the paint jobs that you've done, it's like they're timeless to the point, like you said, you can swap the wheels out, you can bring it out 20 years later, and the shit is still popping off.
Yep, exactly. And that's what we like to do. And I always tell people, man, maybe somebody's not going to like it, but they're going to, they're either going to love it or hate it, but they're going to stop and look at the fucker. I'll tell you that for sure.
Yep.
So.
And we've always heard stories of like painters, a lot of times they get the short end of the stick because you got people that spend all this money on a project. They're like, man, I got no money for paint, but man, my shit's going to be sick. I need to get it painted. But when I look at like what you do, like how does a client, if they want to do work with, business with you, I'm sure you got your main clientele, but like, how do you tell if somebody's really serious? It's like, yo, you want a K Daddy's Kustoms paint job? You're legit. How do you know?
Sometimes you don't, a lot of times you got to be cool to everybody. There's times, man, I would swear that people would walk in and you wouldn't think they had 2 dimes to rub together, and they'll yank out 10 grand and throw it on the table and leave their car, and you're just like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely don't, I try not to judge anybody, but you can tell most people that are really into it, The money on some of these real crazy jobs is it's pretty substantial.
Yeah,
so,
man.
You kind of know when you throw the first number out, you can tell by the look on their face if they're going to be talking to you anymore,
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, which I think is badass. And when I look at some of the motorcycle, if you go to it's K Daddy's with a Z and then Kustoms with a Z on Instagram. And I look at some of I think they call them bagger bikes, right? The big wheel baggers and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how much you can make a bike stand out by doing the graphics, like on the front fenders and the rear bags.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of work.
I do a ton of bikes now, a ton. I mean, I almost always have 3 or 4 going, and at times up to 10 different bikes going at a time. I mean, it's a really big part of my business now.
Yeah, and just to stay off the mini truck theme for a minute. Now, I'm a huge Lincoln fan, right? And when you painted the 61, you really made a splash because like I know the guy Richard that does Suicide Slabs. I run the Lincoln Attic page, but like when you put that out, like me, I love Lincolns, and I get sick of seeing black with mob steel wheels, even though I love them.
Nobody had really done anything that style on one.
Yeah, dude, and even Richard at Suicide Slabs had shared the photos and what. But when I saw that, dude, I was like, hell yeah, K Daddy's killed it, man.
Something different, you know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. That's a good friend of mine. His name's Joe, man. We've done a lot of stuff together. And I mean, he's got a 60 Cadillac in the mix right now. He's got some Lincolns he's doing, some older Lincolns. I mean, I'll be doing a bunch of stuff for him in the near future.
Yeah, dude, that's a sick car. So when I think of, and we've kind of laid the foundation, but it almost seemed like the progression, and this happened for a lot of guys, right? Like, and I'm starting to ask all the guests now, like, were you ever into skateboarding or BMX, growing up in Cali?
Oh yeah, we skated.
Yeah, and it seems
when
like
we were young forever.
From skating to the mini trucks, the subcompacts, and then you get into the full size cars, and the motorcycles as well. Like, what would you say now? What's the main genre that you fall into in terms of like what you like to cruise around, like maybe even your own personal car?
Yeah, man, I mean, I definitely like customs, chop top, 50, 60 store. I like early hot rods. I like bikes, but I'm really kind of in between the lowrider and custom world. And I just love doing those cars, man. It's something I really like doing now.
Yeah. Oh, and with a lot of mini truckers, we've seen Ernie Macias and different guys, like, we kind of progress and we fall in love with, like, whether it's a Cadillac, I'm a Lincoln guy, so on and so forth. But it really is amazing because a lot of us, once we realize, like, man, these cars ride so good on air suspension, or they look so good with the chop top or the graphics. I mean, you can go over the top. Many of us have with these different builds, but I love how, like, someone will just take a badass classic car, lay it out, do some metal work on it, do a sick paint job, but you can really build a pretty badass vehicle even for like a reasonable budget, and I think that's pretty badass.
Oh, no doubt.
That can still happen today,
Nice thing about customs, man, you show them closed up. That's what you want. You want the silhouette. You don't want the hood open. You don't want the trunk open. Who cares about the underside? It's laying on the ground. So that's the good thing about customs. I mean, of course you can spend a bunch of money and go over the top and do everything, but most even big custom shows, they want them shown closed up. They want to see the silhouette of the vehicle, which is cool.
Got it. So talking about K Daddy Kustoms, like, you've painted a ton of epic vehicles, including, we talked about some minis, even some recent ones, some classic cars. Like, can you give the listeners a little bit of insight? Like, obviously you named a lot of rides back with Cow Concepts and whatnot, but what are some of the rides that you've done maybe the past, like, time that you've been on your own, doing your own thing for many years now? Like, maybe just some of the different builds or names or whatever.
Yeah, I did Mark Hernandez. He had it was called the Answer. It was a S10 mini truck.
Mm-hmm.
It got the cover truck of the year for mini trucking.
Yep.
That was a few years ago. My own, I have a 60 Pontiac that's chopped and channeled. The thing's like 40 inches tall. It's wild. My buddy Joe Wallen that we were just talking about with the Lincoln, we did a chopped 59 Impala for him. It was candy tangerine. It had a bunch of patterns, kind of real similar to the way the paint work was done on his Lincoln. The hood, roof, and trunk. Sides was pretty chill. Just probably in the last year, I finished a 61 Impala for a guy named Mike Healy. It's called Knuckle Up, kind of teal.
Yes.
It won some stuff at Santa Maria, which is like the West Coast custom show. And then one that was a little further back, it's like Stan Espinosa, the 53 Chevy with the Mexican blanket roof.
Yes, that's sick
that
too.
Yeah.
You got that on
Now,
Instagram.
I mean, shit. I think we were the first ones to do a Mexican blanket roof, and now you can't even look at Instagram without seeing that stuff. So, which is cool, same type of thing we were talking about. You come up with something, people love it, do it themselves. And I mean, there's been some guys that have progressed it to, man, it really looks badass. And like I was saying, we've done a ton of the big wheel baggers, a bunch of the bike stuff. I recently got a Lifetime Achievement Award at one of the big bike shows here in town. We're here in the Valley. It was in Madera, called the Rendezvous. They gave me a Lifetime Achievement Award for painting bikes. And I just finished a 60 Olds that was called Sonic Reducer. For a buddy of mine named Sean Phelps, who lives in Idaho, from LA. He's been in California his life, but just recently moved to Idaho. But that thing's probably my favorite at this point. It's wild, man. It turned out really, really killer. And it's my favorite at this point, but I always tell people I try to make the next one a little better than the last one, so.
Yeah, and you see a progression with a lot of guys, over the years, whether it be fabricators or painters. And one thing that I thought was like really interesting when I look at the different vehicles is that it's easy to look at it, whether it's at SEMA or it's on Instagram, and you go, wow, that's just badass, right? But a lot of people don't realize the amount of time. Like, if I were to ask you, like, on an average paint job, whether it just be graphics or it's a full deal, like, is your average job like a week, 2 weeks? Like, what does that usually average?
It kind of depends on the money, to be honest,
Yep.
I'll do some things a little cheaper, but people know that it's not going to get done quickly.
Yep.
I have to, and I still run a full body shop, so I do insurance work and everything still.
Okay.
So, and I mean, insurance work, it's boring, but the money's there. It's good.
Yep.
People aren't anywhere near as picky as like the custom end of it. See, bang them in and out, and you have to do that. I have 2 guys that work for me, and I've got to take care of 3 families, so we got to have that kind of work. I'd rather do nothing but custom work. When you can make half of what you can make on a custom job in 3 or 4 days, and the custom job takes 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
You can't let that stuff go down the road. So
it's definitely a balance, and that's what I've always heard from people.
For sure.
Well,
yeah, and I got a mortgage to pay, so I'm not, if somebody's got some money to spend, we'll get it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be turning good money away, exactly. And
yeah,
that allows you to take it to the next level on some of these paint jobs and stuff because you're not so stressed out where you're just like, oh my god, I got to hurry up and paint this bike before the world ends, that type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Insurance kind of keeps everything afloat. For sure.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Now, we talked about, and we've kind of bounced around on some of the subjects, but you mentioned Cal Concepts earlier, and many know that for whatever reason, obviously businesses grow apart. Partners.
Sure.
We've seen people leave Apple, they start their own company, and next thing you know, they're on top of their game. But like, do you mind? Is there anything that you wanted to share with us about why you left or split with the Cal Concepts?
Sure. Guys? I could say some of it. I always say nowadays, a partnership is a sinking ship. So it's just weird, man. I don't like to touch on it, but it seems like I get zero credit for anything we did back then from them guys, and it's kind of sucks, and so and they tell lies, and they try to make stuff look better. They try to erase me from the history of it and make me seem insignificant when it came to that deal. And like I said, it's a 3-man team. we should be celebrating what we did there. We did a bunch of cool shit. And it sucks that we can't all just band together and say, yeah, we did some cool stuff. Now we're not together. But, I left because, man, Dion's a hard dude to be around. He's a different guy, man. And it just, I'll share a story. There would be days at the shop, he would come in 2 or 3 days in a row, would not say one word to me. Nothing. Not one word. It'd be time to go to lunch, he would just disappear. Time to go home, he would just disappear. It was crazy. It's not a cool work environment to do that. It just and there's a bunch of other reasons. That's kind of
I hear you.
Just a little something of it. But and there was times where, say, House of Color was in town for a hot rod show, and they would invite us to dinner as a shop, and I would conveniently get left out of that kind of stuff sometimes. And so there was always a little trust issue. And it just got to the point when I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, I don't want to live my life like this. I don't want to continue to go to the shop and feel, like I kind of got to watch my back. There's so much jockeying for position there. Everybody kind of wanted to be that top dog instead of just being a team. And so this was unhealthy, man. So I bounced.
I hear you. Well, I appreciate you sharing some of the backstory.
Yeah.
From your side, your point of view, and that that's appreciated. And when I talked with you earlier before we started recording, I mentioned, to me as an outsider, I just appreciate what you guys did as a crew. If, we've seen hip hop, right? We've seen hip hop artists, they break apart, or the Wu-Tang, they come back together and they do things. But to me, when I went. We always heard on the East Coast here, my buddies, we were always talked about Sean Carlson's Woodrunner, and man, there were like all these different stories about it. And then when I go to Indy Truck Bash like 0203 and I see it and I take all these photos, I'm just so glad that so many of the trucks, not every one of them, but many of them were still around for years. I know Woodrunner, it had unfortunate history, but I've got to witness the Last Looks, the Woodrunners, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then now someone like Josh Ellis, he's carrying on 20-plus years of a paint job that people, like at Slamfest this past 2 weekends ago, people were fucking blown away. Some guys have never even seen the truck, or they didn't even realize it was built, like just normal showgoers. So I think that was awesome, bro.
Yeah, it's cool. And from the time Cal Concept started till 02, I was the guy that did the graphics. Craig would design some. Some of the times he would design something, and I would. There was always a joke and get him pissed off because I'd look at his drawing and throw it in the toolbox and kind of do what I wanted on a lot of stuff. But to say he didn't have a lot to do with the design would be bullshit. It was a 3-man team. I don't think anybody was better than anybody else, but there was obviously other thoughts than what my thoughts were, and it just, it sucks that it couldn't have continued going, but it just wasn't going to work out the way it was going. So.
I hear you. Well, when I look at Woodrunner, which I'm looking at the photo that you posted on your Instagram, that's you hanging down right there, spraying the paint, right? With the
absolutely,
with the little Scully cap deal kind of on there, and straight looking OG.
The problem is there's so many documented pictures of doing these jobs that they can't never erase me completely. But they'd like to. 100% they'd like to. They get so pissed off when I post stuff that we did back then. And at this point, I don't give credit either, so maybe I'm just as bad, but they've never done it. And it's just such a back and forth keep game. I always just put, hey, I did the graphics on this back in the day, on something like that. I don't take credit for the whole job. But I could go to hell if I'm not apologizing for posting up something that I did, I'm not, if it pisses them off too damn bad.
I hear you. Well, speaking of classic paint jobs, seeing Last Look on TV, that had to have been pretty cool for you, again, kind of going back to the old school story again, but for you guys as a crew to have did something, together all those years ago, and then to see the joy that it brings Fester, and then for it to be on freaking TV, people are like, no freaking way, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think the appraisal was a kind of a crazy thing, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. It was a cool truck, and it definitely was probably the most iconic mini truck, built. And Dion did that truck, I did the graphics on it for sure. I helped a little bit. There was a lot of people that helped on that truck, but that was Dion's truck. He built it.
Yeah.
I know he was pissed because he didn't get any he didn't get any props on it on the TV show. But maybe that's karma for trying to take credit for shit I did.
I got you. Well, to me, it's crazy that someone like Fester or someone like Josh Ellis, they have these trucks that have stood the test of time. I mean, we're talking custom paint from all those years ago. When I saw Last Look at Nopi, early 2000s, I don't know if it was 2000, when the 4x4 shop owned it, I was amazed. I took all kinds of photos of the floorboards and remember seeing it in the House of Color ad, I think it was, of course, at Mini Truckin.
Yeah.
Dude, it's really cool that there's people that are passionate as Fester. I met him one time at Severn in the Southwest.
Keeping it all alive, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
like
really
him
cool.
and even Josh. And, I know there's the whole bought versus built thing, but, dude, I'm telling you, when someone's passionate about something, whether it be a custom car or a mini truck or a BMX bike, which I love, dude, I'm all for it, man.
Well, that's like Josh's truck. He bought it pretty much done. But, I mean, he's, like I said, he's taking it to another level, man. He definitely should get some credit because the interior in that thing never looked like that. The undercarriage, the motor, I mean, he's done a lot. Put the good wheels on it. The truck looks better than it ever did. That's honest.
Yeah, well,
he's really done a good job with it.
I mean, for him to say next step, he's going to pull the motor, reseal a couple things, kind of, freshen it up and stuff. I'm going, dude, like, this guy's balls to the walls. And,
no doubt, man. He's doing it. It's cool. It's cool to see his enthusiasm. That's the enthusiasm we had back in the day, when we were young. And that's the way I felt about mini trucks. I loved it. It was all about it. And it's cool to see somebody at his age and later on being that passionate about it too. It's really cool.
Yeah, and throwing it out there, like, what do you think about Crew Cut, right, is on the cover of Truckin. I think I just got the new issue. And what do you think about something like that stood the test of time? Like, it wasn't anything that you guys did, but, I mean, it's got to be...
It's badass.
And think about it, too. West Coast builds, they were at Slamfest 2 weeks ago. It's sitting almost side by side. I mean, to me, that's amazing.
Yep. It's cool, and when they redid that truck, it was cool that they gave Sean's wife, some props and brought her in the mix and stuff.
Yes.
Badass, man. Badass.
Yeah, that was a nice tip to the
I've done a
cap.
lot of stuff for Sean. Me and Sean were pretty good friends, and he was building wheelchairs and stuff when he passed away. And, I was painting wheels and doing things for him. But it was, it's crazy how connected all of us still kind of are.
Yeah.
Even now.
I had Kerry Iacino on, and we talked about, there's a lot of guys I knew that were close to them, and we talked about Matt I passing away, and I had Sean, we as a team had Sean on, just a short period before his, untimely accident, and it just does put it in perspective. I tell people all the time that, I lost someone near and dear to my heart like a year ago, and it's like, beefs get out, there's hip-hop beefs, there's friends, there's family feuds, there's the fucking Hatfields and McCoys, and I just try to, as a person, just to say, hey, man, all we can do is the best we can do and get up every day and hustle because, it sounds cliche, but, there's nothing guaranteed. And
no, I mean, there is no guarantee. Tomorrow isn't promised, that's for sure.
Yeah, you guys blessed us with a lot of cool rides. And I wanted to ask you, can you just talk a little bit about, I think you had an art gallery for a while in Bakersfield. Like what was that about, man?
Myself and Joe Wallen, the guy with the Lincoln you were talking about, we're both heavy art collectors, man. We have huge collections. Been collecting for 30 years. Joe has too. I mean, the customs kind of come with an art culture with the cars. So there's always art for sale. And I mean, we both definitely got the bug with the art, and we decided to open a gallery in Bakersfield. And there's some pictures on my Instagram page. That was dope, man. We had 3 cars that I painted in there. My 55. It was the one the first thing that kind of started me after I redid it. It was called Liquid Green. It was chopped lime green. A bunch of flames on it, and we had Joe's 59 chopped Impala in there. He has a 34 coupe. He was in there. But it was, man, art gallery. It was really cool. It's just Bakersfield wouldn't necessarily support it. We did really great at the shows. I mean, even Craig showed some art in there. Charles Armstrong showed art. all the best lowbrow artists around were showing there, and many of them came to the gallery and were floored by the gallery. And they were, man, I just wish it wasn't in Bakersfield. I don't see this town supporting it like it should. But we did really well at shows. But in between, we had a store, we sold clothing and stuff. And the in between, it just, it didn't sustain itself. So.
Yeah, and that's what happens. We've seen it, whether it be a restaurant on a particular corner or whatnot. Yep. So, but to me, what's awesome is like you did it, and you instead of, as you get older and you go, man, I wish we would have did such and such. Like you did it, and I think that's important.
Yeah, we did it, too. And I have zero regrets doing it.
Yep.
We lost some money, but the amount of money I lost compared to the amount of friends I made doing it, forget it, man. It was totally worth it, 100%. And we had never went into it thinking we would make money. We had hoped it would break even or close. Mm-hmm. And because of our love for the art and our passion for the art, we would have kept it going, man. If it was just a little bit of money putting in, because being the gallery owner, we would never buy anything at the shows until after the first night. But, we marked up the art, so we would get it at a discounted rate. So it kind of made it worthwhile. But, when it was, and Joe was the money man on that deal, and he was dropping $3-4 grand a month on it. Just, had to stop.
Yep. Well, cool, man. Thanks for sharing. And I think even when I had Charles on, we talked a little bit about, like, he was thinking about doing some stuff too. And it's great that you had some very supportive friends and customers and colleagues that said, hey, yo, man, we appreciate what you're doing. They came out and, they
absolutely, man. And everybody I hit up was like, oh, man, hell yeah. And they really did. They came out in droves to support that thing.
Yep. You got good friends when you start like a business venture and they go, yeah, no problem, man. I got your back. I'll be there. And, that's what they did.
They definitely did.
What I wanted to also, you brought up a name earlier, this past June, I believe, marked 3 years since the world lost Eric Coleman from the Color Shop. He was a very talented individual. Like, what was your relationship with him?
Shit, man. Me and Coleman were friends since high school. I had my 720. He was always driving a Chevy Love. We cruised everywhere. Constantly worked together. I've seen him all the time. His wife used to cut my hair, bro, and I haven't had hair in 30 years, so that's how long I've known him. We've been friends a long time. And during the mini truck, or during the thing when we were both painting, kind of had a little falling out. We got real competitive and got tense at times. We were both pumping our chests, kind of being stupid youngsters, and it took a toll on our friendship. But for the last probably 6-7 years before he passed away, we were back to being good friends, man. And we had actually at Santa Maria, the West Coast custom show, he had talked about doing one of his Cadillacs. He had got real big into Cadillacs and hearses and stuff, but we were going to tag team his Cadillac because he had a real bad quad accident. And one of his arms was just dead, man. It just hung there, So it was difficult for him to line stuff out. And I told him, man, you can design it. I'll line it. I'll help you. We'll just do it together and bust one out. And unfortunately, a few months later, he was gone.
Yeah.
He was having pains, and he was attributing it to the problem with his arm, and it was actually his heart, man. And it sucks, man. They found him in his shop. And they said they found him with a smile on his face. He was into all the macabre stuff, and so who knows what he saw, but whatever it was made him happy. But what was cool is he and Jay Werner actually teamed up and painted his casket. And I did all the patterns, and Jay did the airbrush and the pinstripe, just like the old days. I know for a fact he was looking down, smiling on that, man. It turned out really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It was an honor to do that, man. I hate the fact that he's gone, but it was cool that I could honor him in that way. And, just make the best out of what you got.
Yeah, you have to, man. And, salute to Eric. If anybody is looking for information, it was E-R-I-K Coleman, and, his obituary is out there on the Dignity Memorial site. And, he was 46, and, he had a stake in the ground.
Way too young, man.
He had a stake in the ground with the mini truck world, and, he was a good dude, and, we knew that you were, friends, and kind of brought his name up, so I wanted to kind of ask you. But on a little bit of a lighter note, Can you share any details about like the local Banditos Club and their epic rides, man?
Oh yeah, man. That's shoot. We're club's 23 years old now, man.
Nice.
You know, so we've been doing it a minute. You know, we're pretty much 50s and 60s cars, really hot rods. I mean, you know, I paint most of them, but we're blessed to have a couple different painters in the club and people that, you know, everybody kind of pulls their weight in the club, you know, and it's really cool, man. It's a lot of us still from Syndicate, you know.
Yep.
There's probably half of the club is old Syndicate members, and you know, most of us have been friends 30 plus years, you know, that are in the club. Of course, we got new people coming in and out, but it's, you know, it's friendship that most of the stuff kind of started back in the mini club days.
Yeah,
Just
that's
the progression of that.
That's what's crazy to me. If you think about the subcompacts and the minis, and if anybody goes out there on Google and just search Loco Banditos Car Club, and then go to images, of course, you're going to see, I mean, just tons of custom, just badass vehicles. And what blows me away is recently when I mentioned before we recorded that a guy named John Cashman, he was on Jay Leno's Garage, and after that episode aired, or I guess I was on YouTube and it rolled to the next one, and they had some lowrider guys. Jay had some lowrider dudes come on. One, I think, was from Lowrider Magazine, and I almost thought to myself, like, man, the club that you're in, you guys could almost get featured on that show because, I mean, there's just so many epic custom rides, man.
Yeah, it's cool, you know, and we are, you know, we're, like I said, we're in between the customs and lowriders, you know. All of our rides kind of, you know, we kind of blur that line a little bit. Like I was telling you before, we change the wheels up on them and, you know, go either way on a lot of that stuff.
Fuck yeah, dude. And for anybody that hasn't seen, what is the 59 Ranchero with the orange and purple scallops, I think it is?
Oh, yeah. That's an old one.
Dude.
That was actually done at Cal Concepts.
Ah, okay. Dude,
yeah.
That thing, dude, is just, I mean, it's cool, and I love going down the wormhole of Instagram images, or not Instagram, but Facebook, Google images, because you start to go, oh, wait, okay, yeah, and I'm connecting the dots, and I even like the, there's a wagon, I think it's like a 63 wagon that's just, I mean, so many badass rides.
That was Stan Espinosa's wagon, the guy with the 53 with the Mexican blanket.
Okay.
Custom. That was done probably in 02. I think it was one of the first ones I did when I split up and we moved over and started.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how the guys do, like, I'm looking at an old feature on supermotos.net or supermotors.net, and, you know, I love the white interior. You know, sometimes the guys use the I forget what the material is. Almost like almost like
just
the
vinyl.
Like the vinyl type stuff with like almost like a bass boat look, you know.
Oh yeah, they got the flake material.
Oh, dude, that shit is so badass, bro.
Yeah, that's you know, that's what we're living now. I mean, we're into that stuff heavy.
Hell yeah, brother.
We all probably have 4 or 5 cars going.
Well,
it's crazy.
I you know, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I had just a few other questions I wanted to ask you. Like, you know,
sure.
You know, Kyle, you played a huge role in part, right, for the custom culture and the truck, you know, mini trucking world. We kind of established that, but you know, how if for you as someone maybe that doesn't sit down, you don't ask for the kudos, you're not looking for it, but like, how do you want to be remembered if and when you finally retire from what you have been doing for so many years, brother?
Yeah, you know, first off, I probably will never retire.
Nice. Okay.
Everybody I know that's retired, man. Everybody I know that's retired, they sit down for a year and they die. You know, I'm not going to do that. Fuck that.
Fuck it.
But, you know, I just want to be remembered as a good guy, man, that was pretty proficient with a paint gun, you know. To me, it's better to be known as a good, kind person than a badass painter. I mean, I'd like to be remembered for both. But, you know, I think being a good person is more important than the painter. But I kind of think I'll be remembered for paint jobs too. But.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I like that shit, and I hope that when I can, you know, make it out to the West Coast, I want to try to visit Jeff Davies soon from, you know, DVS. Oh yeah. And, you know, he's like, hey, you got to come
Jeff
out,
will.
ODB. And I was like, hell fucking yeah, Jeff's crazy.
Hell yeah.
That laugh.
If
and
you get out that close, you got to come down here and kick it too.
Dude, I'll drive straight there, dude.
100%, man. Yeah, you're 100% always welcome.
Yeah, that would be badass. So, we talked a little bit about the Main Truck Hall of Fame, but it's got to be a great feeling, which we talked about. But like, what are you most looking forward to as far as the induction? Like, I realize, or do you want to share with the listeners? Like, you may not be able to make it out there, but I know it means a lot to you.
Yeah, it does. It's a big honor, man. I was really floored when he called me and said that they were going to put the truck in there. And unfortunately, I have some family stuff. I have a wedding in the Bay Area the day before, and I just don't think there's enough hours to get to Vegas in time Monday. So I actually reached out to Charles Armstrong. He's already in the Hall of Fame, and asked him to accept the award for me because I have a lot of respect for him. He's a good dude, very honest guy, and so I reached out to him and asked him to accept for me. He graciously said he could. So, but it's a good honor, man. It's great. It's cool to be on the same list and relive some of the glory days, and remember your friends and the ones that are here and the ones that are gone. So, I mean, it's really cool. I was really honored to get for that.
Yeah, man. Well, we salute you, bro. We really do, and it's
really
great that so
that.
many of you guys are like humble. When you said earlier, when you go, man, I'm like a mini trucker at heart. I still love mini trucking. Like that is so cool because a lot of guys they grow, football players. They go on to own all their own businesses and whatever. And they're like, fuck, whatever. I don't care about my past, But like you really, you really kind of have a leg in it, and you go, dude, I respect what we did as a crew. I moved on. I did my own thing.
Yeah.
You got your, your flag in the ground out there in Cali. Doing what you do, and I think it's pretty cool. But I've asked you a million questions, a lot of different stuff, and I appreciate your candor, but like, was there anything else that you maybe wanted to share with the Airhead Nation, Kyle?
Man, probably the greatest thing that came of mini trucking for me was my friendship with Courtney, man. The dude was like my brother. And I mean, dude, I could, like I was telling you earlier, we could fill up a podcast, probably 2 or 3 of them telling stories about stuff we did, man. We used to drink a lot and do shit. He's one of the greatest guys I ever knew, man. I miss him horribly, and I think that, if that's all that came out of mini trucking for me, I would be happy. That would be, his friendship really meant a lot.
There's no doubt about it. You 100% will transcend clubs and everything, businesses, magazines. When you just realize the impact that Courtney had, I've met so many people that have said very similar things to what you said, and it really shows.
They don't make him any better than him, man. It's God's honest truth.
And it's like sometimes if you just sit down and say, man, how do you get to that level? And it's just like I mean, it's just he was a well-respected human being, and
it was just him, man. I mean, if somebody said I don't like Courtney, well, fuck, I knew for a fact I wasn't gonna like him. You know what I mean? He's just one of them guys. You instantly fell in love with him. He's a great person, man.
Yeah, he definitely was, and I would love to, one day when I think of the Courtneys, I think of the Brian McCormicks. We're gonna have some Travis Nowak on sometime. Steve Stillwell. They were a couple of those guys were tied in with the mini truck. The West Coast Influence DVD.
Yeah.
By the guys that help. They're tied into the Main Truck Hall of Fame as well. But
yes,
it's so awesome that the culture and even if it were just for those few years, I saw a thing recently about. I don't know much about what was it, Studio 54? Was that nightclub in New York? Like I think of the 70s, right at the or right around that whole era. But I think someone said like it was only open like 33 months, right? But it went down in history as like, man,
dude, ridiculous.
Yeah, like it was the party place and it was the nightlife.
Making more money than the mob, they said. You know what I mean? That's rad.
Yeah, and if you think about Main Truckin', like Main Truckin', really, if you look at you broke it down and you looked at some of the key years, in the 80s as we moved into the 90s, like if it weren't for certain guys, maybe some certain painters or suspension guys like a Sean Mahaney or Brian Gendro, like it may have just become like a little bit of a fad, right? And maybe it would have just been a blip on the radar and it would have never manifested into really what it did today,
Could have very well been. There is a shit ton of talent that came out of mini trucking. I mean, Brian Gendro he's amazing. Good friend of mine as well. I just look at the stuff he's doing now. I used to look at the stuff he did back then, was floored by him. Now it's just like, Jesus, man, you were freaking killing it, you know?
Yeah.
It's just amazing how good, even, Sharman Haney too. I mean, the amount of stuff that guy did that you didn't, you kind of forgot, and start bringing some of that stuff up. You're like, geez, he did a lot of stuff too. I mean, we all did a bunch of stuff. We definitely had our foot in it, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, and you still do. So, I would highly suggest everybody go out there on Instagram. Many of you are already following K Daddy.
K Daddy OG.
Yeah, K Daddy OG.
K Daddy OG.
Just
yes,
look them up right there, and you'll see it's it's K Daddy and then OG, and then I think your profile says K Daddy's Customs.
K Daddy's Custom. Yep.
And then you've got a good cult following. You posted some cool throwback photos. I mean, I went all the way back to the beginning. And, from the custom cars to the motorcycles to just some of the odd jobs that you've done, like more like in one looked like it was like a little bar setting, where you did like the roof panels.
Oh, that was in my house. Yeah, that was in my house.
Oh, look at that, dude. I mean, sick, bro.
Yep.
Like you
it
don't.
Turned out really cool.
Yeah, and you don't focus on just one thing. You got things of fucking boats, and I mean, to me, it's just
we do everything.
It just
That's kinda weird
shows
to have a flaked out ceiling in your house.
Yeah, I mean, you just
it
got your
looks
hand
really
in
bitchin'.
everything, and I love the knuckle up, dude, with the praying hands. I mean, all that shit is epic.
Yeah, all that artwork on that car was done by a buddy named Skip Sanchez.
Yep.
Badass.
Fuck yeah. Well, I don't know. We talked briefly before. I don't know if we haven't really seen any update from Mini Truck Hall of Fame. I know sometimes they do shirts and stuff, but man, what I would tell you is, man, we'd love to partner up on something. We've got a couple things we're cooking. We did our first shirt, which was an old BMX name you may remember, Mike Dominguez, where we did a remake of his truck that had a tilt bed, and then we did with the bike in the back. I could see us maybe doing something, teaming up with you. But I tell you what, the old photos, the photos, the stories, I mean, all that shit is, dude, epic, bro. Epic times, man.
It's really cool. It was cool kind of getting ready for this and realizing, I was like, holy shit, man, I've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, when I was texting with Josh last night, he goes, man, I bet you imagine all the paint fumes he's inhaled over time. I was like, man, I can only imagine,
I mean, I tell people all the time I can't remember shit because I've been sniffing paint for 30 plus years, and it's true.
Yeah, that's good shit, man. Well, I do really hope to meet you, man, and I hope that you enjoy your homie's wedding or the family member's wedding, and just keep doing what you're doing, bro, because you keeping the culture going, and man, you've got a great thing going there, and I wish you the best for you and your family, brother. Right
on, man. I appreciate the opportunity to do this. It was a good time.
Dude, keep the pedal stomped. Make sure you follow Kyle Gann, and dude, we salute you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
We out here.